Do you know that my cousin Gao Yuan disappeared from the Hong Yuan Group factory in Lujiang District, Weiding Hai? Chaoyu Base. You guys went quite fast, but I can tell you that this has nothing to do with our Chaoyu Base. And some of us have also gone missing. The mutants in Tianhai City are so scarce that even if there are mutants wandering outside, it is difficult for them to compete with well-trained warriors. So I also want to ask if you guys did it. So we all have losses. The entire Tianhai City has the strength to attack both of our families at the same time. The few blacksmiths at the Qingpu base who don't like to fight and have no reason to go to war with us can only be done by people from the Snow Cult. I'm right about you. It must have been done by someone from the Snow Cult. You can't swallow this breath, can you? Wang Ruishuan is my trusted confidant. If those guys in Baishu Sek dare to kill him, I will make them pay 10 times the price. Okay, then take this opportunity to teach them a lesson. Outside the shelter. By connecting to a computer and sitting in the shelter, you can directly control these weapons and secure the fortress. Big brother, we have also repaired all the outer walls of the shelter here. That is great. So far, Chao Yu and Yang Xing have not taken any action, not even a trace of the scouts. It seems that the leaders of these two bases are very difficult. Zhang Yi, I'm going to deliver some food to the students. Oh, okay. Thank you. Teacher Liang, why don't you look so good? Did they say something bad to you again? They're too much. I even think, Teacher Liang, you shouldn't bother with them anymore. Teacher Liang is not at fault, it's all their fault. Even if something really happens to them, you have no responsibility. Is that so? I'm not here to be a villain, just a bystander. It feels pretty good. Training ground. If you really think there is danger nearby, we can discuss moving those students to live near the shelter. Of course, but we are not familiar with their relationship, so this matter needs to be decided by everyone in a meeting. For now, it's better not to do this. Xin and I have talked a lot about our experiences during our time at Tianqing Academy, which have caused great harm to them. I am also responsible for this. After all, everyone is living peacefully now, and we haven't seen anything dangerous happen. There's really no need to be so nervous. It's good that you have this mentality. I should also learn from you not to be on edge all day. Tomorrow is full of hope, right? It's rare for these words to come out of your mouth. So let's start today's martial arts class. What are we practicing today? You learn martial arts to deal with sudden close combat, so grappling and jiu-jitsu are very effective for you. Today, we will start practicing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Okay. No, I can't. I surrender. After arriving at the shelter, she felt a renewed hope for the apocalypse, unlike in the past where she could only rely on those students for her obsession. Only those with desires and aspirations can easily strategize and turn them into chess pieces in my hands. Should we do this or not? Put the confiscated satellite phones in the houses where the students reside in Xujiao Town, and the people at Yangqing Base will definitely be able to find them. At that time, they will naturally take action on my behalf. Could it possibly attract people from Yangqing Base and even Chaoyu Base in advance? How should we choose? Is there a possibility that the people from the two major bases have been unable to discover that their people were killed by me? After I live my peaceful life, they will become their heavenly sea city Earth Emperor. Well thought of, how could there be such a good thing? Lovers in the martial arts world are beyond their control. Tolerance and retreat cannot bring peace, so I will create a brilliant world. As long as we consume them within the established defense line, who can threaten me? I have decided not to leave the defense line even if I am killed. The leader is the leader. His Excellency has arrived. All things in the sky, white snow, and on the earth, our bodies were born on the earth. Our souls come from heaven. The sunshine and moonshine on our bodies. Pure white snow washes our souls. Please forever praise the people of the Snow Worship Church, and let us bear witness with our own souls and bodies. Master, please save him. Miracles and miracles. Praise the great snow god, praise the great snow god, lord of the human body cult. The leader of Baishua sect, Yuan Kongye. Ability gift. Master, please take a break first. The gift can be given tomorrow. Go ahead. What's going on here? Tongjian Daimei, protect the leader well. Han Chang, Li Qian, Wu Huan, come with me to meet the enemy. May the snow god bless his followers and lead us away from war and suffering. For the sake of His Majesty the leader, for the worship of the snow cult. For the sake of His Majesty the sect leader. In order to worship the snow cult. Let's continue the gift ceremony. I have to hold on, I can't let them destroy my home. For the snow god. Fight with them. This damn cult has brainwashed its followers into monsters who are not afraid of death. It should be eradicated. Kill her and capture that stinky bitch Yuan Kongye. I want to tear apart the skin of her divine stick. The priests have arrived. Kill them. Are you two trying to tear up the peace agreement? Zhang Yixian. You are the ones who took the initiative to tear up the peace agreement, right? Is there a misunderstanding? Our snow cult has always remained neutral and not opposed to any forces. Kill me. Since we're here, we must give you a heavy blow. Under no circumstances should they approach the church to counterattack. Ice Lord. Grant them heavenly punishment in the name of the snow god. Eliminate all enemies of the snow cult and kill them. Are these people crazy? They actually want to use their bodies to stop us from moving forward. These snow worshippers are all crazy. They will attack at the cost of their lives, so be careful. Damn cults, I don't know how many idiots they deceived with their foolish teachings and died for them. Capture the thief first, capture Wang Wei Dinghai. Let's cooperate and take down Zhang Yixian first. Good proposal. Ability Inferno Furnace He. Damn it, he couldn't directly kill the believers around him and they are still constantly replenishing them. These people are completely insane, willing to trade 10 or 20 of them for the life of one of us. Although the chances of winning are still high if we continue to fight, we still need to be wary of the people from Qingpu base and not let them lose too many people here. My cousin and over a dozen of his subordinates have died, and you are most suspected of being a snow worshipper. Now I need you to give me an explanation. My trusted love, Wang Ruishuan, also died on the territory of Shishan base. Now, the entire Tianhai city has such strength, and the biggest suspect is your snow worship sect. Zhang Yixian, today you must give us an explanation. Otherwise, tonight our two families will definitely crush you. Hypocrisy is obvious. At the beginning, it was just a plan to never give up. Now that I'm afraid, I'll change my mind at the last minute. If someone dies in your two families, we will be responsible for the snow worship sect. What is the matter? What evidence can prove that the person was killed by us? Oh, do you want to go to the police? You. Baishua's sect has always kept our agreement and has never killed any one of you. But besides you, I can't think of anyone in Tianhai City who has the strength and ambition to attack both of our families at the same time. And the person who took action did the job so beautifully, solving two teams led by mutants without leaving any trace. Those guys, Qingqian, are located in a remote area and have no motivation to take action. Who else besides you could be the culprit to rule out the extra possibility? I see. Have you ever thought that there are some powerful forces in Tianhai City besides us? Even comparable to our power? This is impossible. It's entirely possible. Have you all forgotten about the movements in Lujiang District over the past month? Before the strange incident in Lujiang District, we did hear the sound of gunfire and the explosion of high-yield explosives. However, after the Shishan base was destroyed by missiles, we didn't pay much attention anymore. Is there really any powerful force behind this? If they still exist, wouldn't it mean that even the Shishan base is powerless against them? Zheng Yixian, you're just saying these words to shift our hatred. Do you think we'll believe it just because your upper lip touches your lower lip? Now you need to prove for yourself that the snow worshippers are innocent before we can believe it. Don't act impulsively. If we really start fighting now, we won't be their opponents. Tell them what you saw outside the Shishan base that day. Our people also went to Shishan base that day and met Wang Ruishuan from Chaoyu base. Besides Wang Ruishuan and others, I also saw a few people wearing combat uniforms from Shishan base. Perhaps they are the murderers you are looking for. Are you saying that the Shishan base has not been completely destroyed yet? They are lurking in the dark and slowly recovering their strength. If that's the case, it's even more impossible. Even the shelters at Shishan base were destroyed by missiles, and the remaining teams won't be very large. At least, the material aspect will become their biggest challenge. If they really lurk and only slowly recover their strength, they would never dare to attack both of our families at the same time at this time. Even in the past, Chen Xinyan didn't have the courage, let alone now. The people at Shishan base dare not, but that doesn't mean others dare not either. What if the area has already been occupied by other forces? Not everyone knows about our various factions. Perhaps they have no idea that there are powerful refuge bases like yours outside of Shishan and Lujiang districts. If he knew, I don't think he would dare to take action against your people. Lujiang district. It seems that only this statement can explain the current situation. First, go back and investigate thoroughly. We can't just waste our combat power and let someone else pick up the loophole. That's all for today. We will investigate, but please remember clearly that if I find out it was your people who did it, I will come back. Next time, we will completely eliminate your stronghold. What are you arrogant about? If you have the ability, just let go and let go. When you come, you will definitely have no return. The development scale of the Snow Worship sect is too fast. With the brainwashing of that divine stick, it has absorbed many survivors. They are really foolish to believe that there is a heaven in the end of the world, but they don't understand that they don't have strong enough power. Wherever they go, they are consumables. What are you planning to do next? It goes without saying that. We can't just sit idly by on this matter, can we? The meaning is whether we should act together or not. After all, there may really be a powerful force in that place, and acting alone would be very dangerous. If you have considered it carefully, I hope our two families can take action together. Now that Chen Xinyan, that old guy, is dead, as long as we work together to control the entire Tianhai city, it is just around the corner. Be gone. She's such a strong woman. If I could take her down, Tianhai City would be mine, Wei Dinghai. Leader, this woman seems to be hiding something from us. Isn't that natural? Neither of us fully trusts each other. And I seem to have recalled something. Who exactly is fighting against the Shishan base on the banks of the Lujiang River? It's probably the inconspicuous little character from the beginning. Suspected warehouse manager Zhang Yi is currently residing in Yahello community in the South China warehouse theft case. Yangqing Base. These are the two places where people live near Young Manor in Shujia Town. Young Manor is the leading wealthy district in Tianhai City, and Shujia Town has thousands of villagers who are likely to confront the forces of Shishan Base here. It seems that we can only send someone to investigate first. Should we call Wei Dinghai? It would be safer to have them send someone to investigate together. There's no need for it. Although we are not sure how strong this mysterious force is, their power will definitely be greatly reduced after fighting against the Shishan base for a long time. If the Shishan base is destroyed, it won't be much better for them. If it's really damaged, we can just catch a leak. But there is still a certain degree of danger in doing so without understanding the opponent's strength. Anyway, the other side has successively eliminated our two teams with mutants. Although he is an alien, the strength of the plateau can only be said to be at the bottom of our base. This time, sending Donghu over is the safest way to handle things. You don't have to worry about them at the Chaoyu base. Wei Dinghai is an old fox. If it weren't for their request, he wouldn't be so polite to me now. Call Donghu over. High Priest. No problem, I can go and ask the master for treatment. You guys clean up here. Wait a minute, I can still salvage it. May the snow god save all the suffering in the world and grant you a happy and beautiful paradise as a devout believer. You are no longer able to serve the human body of the gods in this world, so return to the divine kingdom to serve the true essence of the gods. Forehead. I really envy you. So soon you will be able to meet the God Lord. Take the bandaged body back to recuperate, pack it up, and come with me over here. Put down the body and immediately return to this place. Ordinary believers are prohibited from entering. May the pioneers become the hope for the survival of the living, their flesh and blood, our food. Come here, my children. Believe me, Master. Everything she did was for your good. You need to undergo baptism in order to become qualified snow worshippers. Don't be afraid, child. There is a demon living on you, and I will exorcise it for you now. I can't move, I have no strength, and I can't make any sound. I will purify your filth with my own hands. From now on, you will never become a filthy demon again. Purification completed. Thank you, Master, for purifying his body so that he won't be tempted by demons. From now on, this child will be more obedient and well-behaved, and will never cause us trouble like before, right? From now on, he will always be a kind and good child. Does purification mean cutting off that part? I don't want it, I don't want it. That would make me a eunuch. I don't want to be a eunuch. Why are you so immature, kid? We're doing this for your own good. You must have been so mischievous all along because you harbored a demon in your heart. As long as the leader purifies the demon for you, you will become an obedient and good child. Be honest, don't be so immature. Who should be purified next? Great. Thank you so much, Your Majesty. You no longer have to worry about disobedience. Why is the injury so serious? You have already used your abilities too many times today. Can you treat me tomorrow? Who called? It's the joint attack of Yangqing Base and Chaoyu Base coming over. Oh, both of them are coming to attack us at the same time. Yeah, that's right. Besides our Baishu sect and the four major bases, there is also such a mysterious and powerful force in Tianhai City. Is the collapse of Shishan Base also related to them? That mysterious force is related to a man named Zhang Yi. We once received a message from that place mentioning this person. Now it seems that the intricate relationships have converged into a clear path. That Zhang Yi is an alien and a very powerful alien. His strength is probably at the top level in the entire Tianhai city. If it weren't for this, what would he have done to counter the Shishan base for so long, even leading to its destruction? However, various pieces of evidence indicate that the destruction of the Shishan base is related to the missile from the Jiangnan region. That's true, but even so, it has an inseparable relationship with Zhang Yi. He definitely holds a significant power in his hands that cannot be underestimated. If that's the case, it's really necessary to pay attention to this person. Should we send a grand decree to test him? The entire territory of Tianhai City with truly important resources is occupied by 4 shelters. Although the existence of Bloodvine allows us to obtain food through substitution, it is ultimately not a long-term solution. It's like today when the 2 major bases of Chaoyu and Yangqing joined forces to attack, it was very difficult for us to resist. If it weren't for their concerns and unwillingness to fight us to the death, it would be difficult for the Snow Cult to survive today's crisis. So I think we should develop a helper, especially one who is just like us. Okay, let the grand decree go over and verify his strength. If he really has the ability to confront the base, perhaps the pattern of Tianhai City will undergo earth-shaking changes from now on. Shelter Medical Room. Do you know this thing? This drug is usually only available on the battlefield, and its efficacy is very strong, which can greatly improve a person's physical function and make them stay up for 3 days and 3 nights. I have seen this medication before in my teacher's laboratory, but it is the first time I have encountered someone using it. In terms of efficacy, it is more than 10 times stronger than the one I used for you before, but this medication can only increase the body's utilization of energy and accelerate the body's metabolic rate. In fact, it is a crazy overdraft that can lead to sudden death if one is not careful. Indeed, there is no such thing as a free lunch in this world, and drugs that make people stronger without side effects really do not exist. Maybe not necessarily. I have heard in the past that the military has been researching drugs that can improve soldiers' combat capabilities and try to avoid too many side effects that could affect their ability to continue fighting. Although it may not completely eliminate side effects, they can be reduced to an extremely low level. Of course, the price of this potion is so high that it has not yet become a standard stimulant in the military. That means it's possible to encounter it in the future, but the probability isn't that high, is it? It seems that in the future, we must also be cautious when encountering ordinary people. The power of technology should not be underestimated. Kerr, do you remember the kind of rat poison I used before? Rat poison. The last time you used it was in Yahello community, right? Do you still have that thing? Keep it, maybe it will be useful. People should still be cautious to be prepared. If the dosage of medication is slightly less than the lethal dose, what effect would it have? If it is too small, there is no need to consider the detoxification function of the human body to eliminate it. However, even if the dosage is controlled at around 5%, the kidneys cannot completely eliminate it, which may cause toxicity in the body. Will it die? Of course not. Continuous intake can lead to the gradual failure of organs in the body, and if left untreated, death may still occur. However, in such a harsh environment today, the human body is already very fragile. If you take this medication, you may have to wait until you die slowly. I see. What you said makes perfect sense. Isn't there a mouse at home? There isn't one at home, but there is one outside. Damn it, why do we have to live so suffocated? If I had known this, it would have been better for us to stay at the Shishan base. We may be tired, but at least someone provides us with food and it's relatively warm. Even if we die one day, at least we won't freeze to death. Do you think that death is better than living, whether it's difficult or not? If you were allowed to experience the process of the experiment once, I believe you would not say such words again. We're just talking casually. But Teacher Liang can also fight for us. How could she bear it? Forget it, Teacher Liang dare not. She has now become Zhang Yi's person. Maybe she was able to enter the shelter in exchange for her own body. It's probably like this. Don't be fooled by Teacher Liang's usually serious demeanor. I think she's just a reserved and lascivious type, with a deep and unrestrained nature. Ha ha ha, let's talk about this paragraph carefully. Teacher Liang, you're here. We miss you so much. Recently, be careful and the surroundings are not peaceful. There are many grain storage cellars in Shujia town. Besides searching for food, it's best for you to hide inside normally. Do you understand? Since Teacher Liang is so dangerous, why don't you take us back? Isn't the shelter the safest place? Take good care of yourself. Listen to me and hide well. Teacher Liang, why is this damn woman so heartless? Don't worry, everyone has a share. Who are you? Get out of here. If you dare to say one more word, I'll twist your neck. Well, an alien. We can't let him run away. Get lost. Cough. Too big for her skin. A few hours ago. By the Lujiang River. Hide the car and walk towards the exposed target of the province. Can this thing really be built by manpower? This thing cannot be destroyed by ordinary individual combat weapons unless it is bombarded with large caliber artillery. I seem to understand why they have been able to resist the strongest armed forces in Shishan base for so long. Be careful, everyone. This is not an easy opponent to deal with. If you're not careful, our lives will be here. The satellite phone signal from the plateau is located within the large snowy house ahead. You go and investigate the situation there first. Obey the order. No one can see, there are no guards yet. It seems that there is no organized group on a large scale here. There can be extremely dangerous experts hiding here. Once any abnormalities are detected, we will retreat immediately. There is a deserted village in front of me, with no surveillance around and no living people inside. I found the location of the signal source and did not startle the snake. What? How could this happen? Is it true that the truly powerful forces are behind that defense line, but why is the signal source located here? Is it a trap? But since you're here, at least you need to get some useful intelligence before going back. Now? Tie them all up and take them back to the leader for safekeeping. The satellite phone signals placed in those student residences have changed, and it's true that they should have come, but they still came. What will happen in the future? I'm a little excited now. Brother Zhang Yi, you're here. Isn't it boring to watch movies alone here? It's okay, they're just passing the time, not slacking off. How is the research on the data from those satellite phones I gave you a few days ago going? Do you have any important intelligence? These people are very cautious, and coupled with the fact that they haven't been using satellite phones for a long time, the information is relatively scarce. But through the chat records, we can confirm the identity of the person you killed. His name is Gao Yuan. He is the cousin of Xiao Honglian, the leader of the Yangqing base, and also the captain of a team he manages. How could it be so coincidental? I accidentally killed the relative of the leader of the Yangqing base. It seems like this matter is difficult to resolve. Just a cousin, not a real brother. It's hard to say how their relationship is. We can't explain their family relationship clearly, but just be prepared. Furthermore, according to his chat records with some people from the Yangqing base, the connection between the two sides is relatively close, and there is no accurate source of specific intelligence yet. If that's the case, brother, we may need to face a joint attack from two Al-Qaeda organizations at the same time. I've thought about this, and it's nothing but the worst-case scenario that can happen. But since experiencing the prolonged battle with the Shishan base, my fear of these large organizations has disappeared. They are just taking advantage of the chaos to rise to power. If we don't get high-yield missiles or other weapons, they won't pose too much threat to us. From the bottom of my heart, I also hope to have a fight with them. Only in this way can they understand that the territory of Shishan base now belongs to me, Zhang Yi. They are not allowed to cross boundaries and disturb my life. After making them understand our strength once, everyone can live a peaceful life. By the way, Zhang Yi and his friends' chat records also mention some things about the snow worship sect. Although it has little to do with us, I still want to tell you about it. Oh. Through the conversation with Gao Yuan and others, it can be seen that their attitude towards the snow worship religion is very poor, so I think the conflict between them is quite sharp. So what? Are you saying that if we are attacked by the Yangqing base, we can consider seeking help from the snow cult? Who knows, but it's better to have one more helper than one more enemy, right? No. Unknown helpers can sometimes be even more terrifying than enemies. But if there is any practical value, I don't mind squeezing them out. Yangqing base. Keep an eye on them. I'll go in immediately and report to the leader. Enter. How are the investigation results? We found the lost mobile phone on the plateau in Xujiao town and captured a group of students who claimed to be from Tianqing Academy, and their teacher was right next to Zhang Yi. As for Zhang Yi, I didn't see him, but I found a thick ice and snow barrier at Young Manor, just across the river from Xujiao town. If my guess is correct, Zhang Yi and his subordinates lived behind that barrier and relied on it to block the attack of Shishan base. Where are those students? Are you going to personally interrogate me outside? Let's go take a look. Workshop. There is another person who has passed out, and he should have some connection with the Shishan base because I found the human body modification technology of Shishan base on him. That person will stay behind and study it carefully. Tell me everything you know, otherwise you won't want to personally experience the interrogation methods of Yangqing base. Please rest assured that I will know everything you want to know without hesitation. I only hope that you can spare my life. I will tell you everything I know. Don't kill me, don't kill me. I can tell you about anyone you want to know, whether it's Zhang Yi or Teacher Liang Yu's situation. Firstly, please tell me where you obtained this satellite phone from. We don't know about this thing either. We have never seen it before. This thing was left by Zhang Yi. Is Zhang Yi really the one who did it? Tell me how many people Zhang Yi and his subordinates are in total, what abilities each person has, and how many weapons and materials they hold in their hands. What's wrong? Can't you say it? I think I've heard of Zhang Yi. His ability is spatial. His subordinates are all quite capable, and one of them, Yang Xinxin, is a top-tier hacker. There is also someone named Lu Combustible who is quite skilled in mechanical aspects. It is difficult to determine the strength of Zhang Yi's team based solely on these materials. Do you have any other intelligence? Think about it carefully. These alone are not enough for me to keep your lives. Don't kill us, we have other values. Teacher Liang cares about us the most. She won't just watch us die. If you're going to play Zhang Yi, we can also show you the way. Lock them up, give them some time, and then think about their role. If you really can't think of anything, just wait until the time of the expedition to chop off their sacrificial flag. Perhaps we can give it a try. Try what? These people are Liang Yu's students, and Liang Yu is now under Zhang Yi's command. Maybe their relationship is really good. We are not sure about Zhang Yi's strength at the moment. We can use these students as bargaining chips to pretend to negotiate with him first. Judging how strong Zhang Yi's trump card is through this method. Do you think threatening Zhang Yi or Liang Yu with these useless students is effective? Don't be foolish. What time is this? This is the end of the world. Only those who possess value are worthy of paying the price for exchange. They look useless at first glance. Who would pay for them? Even their teacher Liang Yu couldn't be so foolish. My great leader, you must understand that not every woman in this world is as rational as you. Perhaps their teacher Liang Yu is a soft-hearted woman. And in my opinion, since they are able to live near Zhang Yi's shelter, it shows that Liang Yu still has some reluctance to let go of them. Are you saying that their teacher Liang Yu may be a Virgin Mary? I just hope that if she's like that, then we'll have a chance. Send someone to contact Zhang Yiran and then put those students on collars and throw them into the underground prison cell. Obey the order. The next day. Zhang Yi, I'll go across the street. Oh, okay. Go early and come back early. It's quite cold outside. Don't freeze yourself. What will Liang Yu do when she discovers that all her students are missing? But with her personality, it's impossible for her to remain indifferent, right? I hope it won't cause me too much trouble, otherwise I'll have to ask her to leave this shelter. Where have all the people gone? Could it be that they were kidnapped by some major force? No one was seen everywhere. They were really taken away. I can only ask Zhang Yi to help me. Their disappearance was not accidental. If someone really took action against them, then the target must be me. I can't let them die because of me. Are you okay? Zhang Yi is not doing well. Something big happened. My students have all disappeared. What disappeared? How could this happen? Did all 10 or so of them disappear? Could it be going out to find wood and food? I have searched everywhere I can find, but I haven't found any trace of Zhang Yi. I suspect that those few forces have already extended their influence. It is indeed very possible, but I don't understand why they would arrest your student. Could it be that you had some enemies before? I don't know. I have been teaching at Tianqing Academy for 3 years and have not made any enemies with anyone. Don't worry about this matter for now. It's useless. We need to calm down and find a solution. Let's first investigate if anyone is approaching the shelter and see if there are any clues. Check the surveillance around to ensure that no strangers are present nearby. High-speed playback. This is troublesome now. We don't know who the perpetrator is or what their purpose is, which puts us in a complete passive situation. Although it is currently known that there are 4 major organizations in Tianhai City, it cannot be completely ruled out that it is the behavior of other unknown small forces. For us, it's almost impossible to take the initiative to do anything, but if the other party kidnapped Liang Yu's students, there must be some plot. So I think we should wait, maybe the other party will contact us. But what else am I worth plotting? I don't remember offending anyone. This question is very complex, but since we are targeting your students, who else can we target? Of course, I'm just suggesting one possibility. Liang Yu, don't worry. Your business is my business. I promised you that I would take care of those students and not go back on my word. As soon as there is any news, I will take action immediately. Okay, I'll listen to you. Finally solve those troubles. Could Zhang Yi be one of those forces coming to attack us? Well, it's like this. We haven't had a few days of peaceful life yet. Why are we starting to fight again? You're wrong. It's not that war has disrupted our peaceful lives. It is through war that we have exchanged for a brief period of tranquility. In the end times, war and fighting are the norm, but not peace. If only 2 forces attack at the same time, they should be able to defend, but is there a possibility of the 4 of them joining forces? If that's the case, it might be a bit troublesome. Don't you feel sorry for Liang Yu? What do you feel sorry for? You don't have any thoughts or feelings towards Liang Yu. I really appreciate her. It would be great if she could become a reliable friend. But before that, she must pass this test. The current situation is probably as we just mentioned, and you also need to be prepared. Ever since we killed the mutants at Chaoyu Base, I knew this battle was inevitable. That's really troublesome. Can't those guys just calm down and live in the apocalypse? They have to fight for some territory. At any time, there will always be ambitious individuals who want to gain higher power. After the goal of survival is achieved, their desires will inevitably expand infinitely. Not everyone is like us, without desires or demands. From a security perspective, only by eliminating all threats around oneself can one be absolutely safe, not to mention them. Even if I discover small armed groups in the vicinity, I will take them down. But you don't have to worry too much. Everything is in my plan. As long as we show them our strength and make them understand that we are tough bones to crack, they will naturally not dare to invade again. Anyway, we're done with it. Our good days are all fought with our fists. If anyone dares to disturb us, then defeat them. At this point, we have no choice but to fight. Someone is coming over. It's a car. Why is there only one car in the Yangqing base? Is it a scout or an envoy? I want to go. Quickly, those people are chasing after us. Ah, it doesn't look like an alien either. Commit suicide. Poison is a capsule hidden between teeth. Many scouts do this to avoid being captured and leaking information. They're smart, but they just died like this. I don't know what they came here for. Boss, they left something behind. Take a look. Stop, don't move. It's hard to forget that this arrow may have been tampered with. Slowly lower the crossbow arrow in your hand. Move back. In a different space. The war book still needs to negotiate with me. Have you lost your gloves and replaced them with a new pair? Go to hell. Clinic. Check if there is any poison on it. Since they are here to deliver letters, they probably wouldn't use this method, would they? Be careful when sailing a 1,000-year-old ship. The most relaxed time for you is often when the enemy is most likely to succeed. Any careless action on the battlefield could potentially result in the loss of life. We didn't eat less back then. Really toxic. There should be no relaxation towards the enemy. They are constantly thinking of taking our lives. The reason why I can guess this is because if I were them, they would also use this method. After all, being able to kill one is just one. Do you want to come over and take a look? There are words on it. What's this? This is an address. If I'm not mistaken, I can contact the Yangqing base through this address. Is it safe? Do you think there's any danger with me, brother? That's good. I knew you were the best, Xin. So now it can be confirmed that the people from Yangqing base kidnapped my student, right? If there were no accidents, it would have been them. There aren't so many coincidences in this world. Okay, hurry up and contact them to see what they really want to do. The purpose of this group of people is nothing more than negotiation and exploration. Okay, then talk to them. I also need to have some intelligence on them in order to do so. But there's one thing I have to make clear to you in advance, Liang Yu. I understand your eagerness to save lives, but communicating with them is not a child's play, it's very dangerous. Once we reveal any flaws, they will attack without hesitation, so you can watch from the side without showing too much concern for the students, understand? Okay, I promise you. Feed. Hello, I'm Zhang Yi. Wait a moment. You are the leader of the organization surrounding Zhang Yishu's family town and young manor. Who are you again? I am Xiao Honglian, the leader of the shelter organization in Yangqing district. Zhang Yi, The person I sent to Hongyuan Material Factory was killed by you, right? Were your people the ones who arrested people from Shujia Town yesterday? So you're admitting it, right? That means it was really you who did it. The person who dares to kill me is so brave. No one in the entire Tianhai city dares to attack my Yangqing base. Zhang Yi, you already have a way to die. This sentence sounds very familiar. The person who said this to me has already turned to ashes. Oh, by the way, his name is Chen Xinyan. You may have heard of him before. Do you think I'm a 3-year-old child? The Shishan base was destroyed because of that missile. It's too arrogant of you to take all the achievements on yourself, isn't it? Why don't you think about why a missile attacked the Shishan base? Calling missiles is up to you as the warehouse supervisor. Don't bother probing anymore. Do you think I'll tell you? I just hope that in the future, you can recognize reality and obediently stay away from me. Since you can kill one group of your subordinates, you can kill the second group. And the few students you captured were also sent to me honestly, otherwise I wouldn't have spared you. Arrogance has destroyed us. Do you have this strength? If you're really that powerful, the entire Tianhai city would have been your territory long ago. Believe it or not, I'll chop off all those students now and send their bodies back to you. Don't do such a foolish thing. Those people are of no value to us. Even if you kill them, it won't affect us. But it doesn't sound like it. I think you seem a bit nervous about their lives. It seems like I really got a good deck of cards. How about we talk about how you can let them go? I haven't thought about this yet. Let me think about it carefully. Zhang Yi, you killed my cousin and his soldiers, and now your people are in my hands. If you want someone, you can exchange the supplies in your hands. I know all the supplies from the South China warehouse were in your hands back then. I didn't need more than half of them. If you give me half of the supplies, this matter can be written off completely. From now on, how about we not cross the river with the well water? It's impossible. You don't even need to think about it. So there's only one way out, war. You killed some people, but there are still people from Chaoyu base. Do you think you have the strength to resist both bases at the same time? Hee, I see you think so. But I have to tell you, you have no idea about our strength. If you really plan to come and die, then come over. If you have the courage, give it your all. I will kill you all without leaving a trace. But you don't need to target those students. They're useless. I hope you can return them to me. Unless you accept my terms, this matter is off the table. Don't go too far. Those students are students of women I cherish very much. If you dare to torture them, I will definitely make you pay a heavy price. The more you say that, the more I refuse to release them, and I will torture them severely to make them unable to survive or seek death. Hurry up and kill those students. Do you know how troublesome my acting is? The other party has hung up. It's simply deceiving people too much. What's the point of coming at me? You're actually venting your anger on those innocent students. We can't continue to be passive like this. Let's set off immediately to the Yangqing base to rescue people. This trip to Yangqing base is not like the previous attack on Shishan base, where the timing, location, and people are not on our side. So don't go over here. This matter has nothing to do with you in the first place, and I don't want you to get involved. Zhang Yi, don't act impulsively. Going there now not only won't save anyone, but you may also have to get involved yourself. That's a force no weaker than Shishan base, and they're on guard. If you go, you'll have to die. Boss, it's almost time to act again. They cheated too much and didn't take us seriously. They even arrested Liang Yu's student right under our noses. I promised Liang Yu that I would help her take care of these students. Zhang Yi, don't act impulsively. This is not your problem. If you blame me, I can only blame myself for not protecting them well. You have done your best. Thank you for still being willing to help me, but this matter has nothing to do with you. I don't want to burden everyone. Liang Yu, what do you want to do? Go find a home for my own soul. She probably wants to save someone herself, right? Didn't I just impress her? Boss, your acting is really good, but it looks too fake. The key is to say such righteous words from your mouth. Who would believe it? Well, at least I can express my support for her attitude. This matter cannot be blamed on you. Among all of us, except for Liang Yu, no one has any connection with those students. And they don't know that being self-sufficient is just a bunch of lazy people. Keeping them not only doesn't help, but it can also be troublesome. In short, everyone has all the defense measures in their minds, which were prepared a few days ago. Just know that we are likely to face war next. But what about Teacher Liang? You two go over and persuade her not to do anything foolish. Flammable Shinchin. Teacher Liang. You can die for them, why can't you live for me and combustible? Teacher Liang, we need you. Teacher Liang, we can't live without you. Think about it, both Shinchin and I are ordinary people without any special abilities. If we encounter any danger in the future, we will need your protection. But I can't just watch others die. They are still alive now, aren't they? The reason why they can live until now is because your brother has feelings for you and is willing to help them. So you can't act impulsively. We still have room to discuss with the Yangqing base. You can wait a little longer. Okay, that's all we can do now. Brother Xingqing, he really likes Teacher Liang. I'm just lying to her. The most difficult thing for someone like Teacher Liang to deal with is emotions. If you care about everything, it will be chaotic. How can we convince her to stay if it's not like this? Wow, are you playing tricks with Teacher Liang here? I'm just going to die for the sake of her if I don't agree with her. It's too foolish. But if she can stay in the shelter, it's definitely a good thing for both of us. Brother Zhang Yi, he won't take care of idle people. What I'm saying is that I also need to make myself more useful. I understand. You guys have worked hard. The medicinal effect is about to take effect. According to those students, there are still several mutants under Zhang Yi's command. If they are all included under my command, the strength of the entire Yangqing base will be greatly enhanced. From the current situation, it seems that their compromise is only a matter of time. They can take action as soon as possible to capture Zhang Yi's power, otherwise other organizations may also take action. Don't worry, it's better to conduct an investigation first and then decide when to take action. There are more than one enemy around us. Once we deploy troops to attack Zhang Yi's shelter, the other three may launch an attack on our headquarters. They are eyeing the refinery here with great interest. But the timing is fleeting. If we miss it, someone else may come and share this fat meat. I would rather do nothing than make mistakes. In today's Yangqing base, everyone is concerned about making any mistakes, and we will all die. We will strictly follow your orders. What should we do next? Since Zhang Yi cares so much about those students, let's add some fire to his heart. Send someone over to give them a good lesson, then take a video and send it to Zhang Yi to investigate his intelligence thoroughly. We must not miss any suspicious information. It's the leader. It's time to treat our guests well. Well, what's going on? Poisoned. He's poisoned. How did they get poisoned? What's going on? What kind of poisoning? Is there still salvation? The doctor diagnosed that the toxins in these people's bodies have been accumulating for a long time, and someone has given them chronic poison. If there were good medical conditions in the past, it could have saved a life, and so on. Oh no, we fell for a trap. These dying people were all caught by Zhang Yi using borrowed weapons to kill. What do you mean? These people were poisoned with chronic drugs and deliberately placed in Shujia town, using high-altitude satellite phones as bait to attract us. Everything was planned. What's the reason for doing this? Relying on a group of poisoned waste to plot against us. Or is it that Zhang Yi and his own people want to kill these students without being able to do it themselves? Record a video and send it to Zhang Yi before they die. If the poison on these people wasn't from him, then take the opportunity to fleece them. Brother Zhang Yi, could you come over here? Control room. Zhang Yi, it's been a day and I don't know how you're thinking. I contacted you today to give you a gift to help you make a decision as soon as possible. Are they all still alive? They're still alive now, but it's hard to say how much longer they can hold on. Zhang Yi, the leader of my family, changed his mind. Keeping these useless people will only waste rice, so I'll give you all a ton of food in exchange. It's not impossible, but I need to confirm that those people are still alive. Otherwise, if I hand over my supplies to you and only exchange them for a pile of corpses, wouldn't it be too uneconomical? You have seen the person and are still alive and well. This is just a video. I want to see living people. Take me over and see them right now. As long as I confirm that they are all alive, I will arrange food for you immediately. Yanqing Base won't play boring tricks. We want these people's lives to be useless. How could we possibly kill them? Your worries are unnecessary. If that's the case, why can't I take a look? Mr. Zhang, I don't feel any sincerity from you. They're already dead. Brother, how did you do it? I added some technology and liveliness to their food. Great. Now no one will be dragged down. Give Liang some psychological support these days and don't make this silly woman unable to come to terms with it. Actually, brother, you personally have a better effect than me. Are you asking me to enlighten her? This will definitely be very useful. Killing requires the use of an emotional knife. The attribute of being an idiot could be contagious. By the way, remember to keep this call confidential. No one is allowed to tell. Don't worry, I understand very well. Now that everyone is dead, we have lost the bargaining chip to threaten Zhang Yi. So there are no other options besides war. 2 days later. New news. Blood for blood, teeth for teeth, Zhang Yi. This is just the beginning. Soon, I will hang the heads of you and your friends on the execution platform at Yanqing Base. Finally dead, it's considered clean. It's still like this ending. Didn't you hate these people the most before? Now that they're dead, you're not happy. I can't talk about happiness or sadness. I really hate them and wish they disappeared from this world early. I just feel a little sad when I see them all dead. I am very worried that one day in the future, my head will also be hung up by someone. It's understandable that a young girl of this age, even if she's mature enough, would be shaken by such a scene. Don't worry, I'm here. Brother won't let Xinqing die. Because I won't die, you can definitely live well too. It's great to have you here, brother. Xinqing will definitely not hold you back and become someone useful to you. The next step is to show this paragraph to everyone. But seeing this scene, Teacher Liang may collapse. Don't worry, I am not only mentally prepared but also physically prepared. Put this in the coffee and let Liang drink it. What is it? Medications that can calm the mind. The content of this video may be a bit cruel, and I hope everyone can be mentally prepared not to get too excited. The video was sent by Yanqing Base, so it's about my students. They all died unexpectedly. They're really dead. Teacher Liang, what's wrong with you? Are you all right? Teacher Liang, are you okay? It's okay. She's already taken some tranquilizer medication and just needs to rest for a while. Teacher Liang is a good teacher who fulfills her duties diligently. This matter is a significant blow to her. I hope she can see through it and not get bogged down in trivial matters. Time can heal pain, and love can also heal it. Take good care of her these days and help her relieve her emotions. Inject her with sedatives these days to stabilize her emotions. I would rather let her lie in bed for a few more days than let her mess around. Understand? The battle with Yangqing Base is inevitable, and maybe Chaoyu Base will also come together to face the defensive pressure of the two major bases at the same time. Everyone, follow the original plan and rely on the first line of defense to fight until it is breached before retreating to the shelter. A few days later. That is. Besides that one, there is actually such a powerful alien in the world. The great decree of the snow worship sect, Zhao Jianhua. Ability to expect chi. Is he the right-hand man of the gods? My ability allows me to glimpse the vitality and potential of all things, and to see gifted mutants and unawakened ones. The reason why the worship of snow is able to attract a wide range of believers is also due to the deep and profound presence of outsiders. That Zhang Yi actually has such a powerful ability that he must report to the leader and high priest as soon as he discovers it. Yangqing Base Office. I have met the leader. My name is Wu Huiren, and I am the manager of the original Zhanlong Security Company. I was involved in the shelter project at Young Manor. I once handled Zhang Yi's project and built a safe house for him. Are you familiar with that Zhang Yi? Not familiar with it, just a simple relationship between the employer and the company. But I am very familiar with the place where he currently resides. Oh, is there anything different? Tell me. No wonder they were able to block the attack of Shishan Base for over a month without any harm. So it makes sense that you built the shelter. There is no way to obtain that shelter in Shishan Base, but our Yangqing Base can break through the leader. Please leave this matter to me to handle. Do you know where the weakness of that shelter lies? As a leading brand in China, Zhanlong Anbao Company cannot take action on customers' houses. But since we built the house, we have a good understanding of its structure and materials. As long as our large homework truck can come into contact with the house, we can cut the walls apart. Okay, you can come with us on this mission. If everything is done well, I will promote you to lead a team. Thank you for the cultivation of the leader. But I still have a question that I can't figure out. Even the strongest and most special materials used in that shelter can be opened with professional tools. In that case, even with explosives, Shishan Base can be destroyed. Why didn't they do it? Can it be said that Zhang Yi and his allies are so powerful that it's difficult for the Shishan Base to approach them? If there is really such a high risk, I cannot let my Yangqing Base alone bear it. We must also drag down several other forces. In this way, not only can we share the risk, but we can also prevent them from attacking the base during my operation. That guy named Zhang Yi is not simple. He was able to compete with the Shishan Base for so long, but in the end, it led to the destruction of the Shishan Base. Neither of our two families dare to deal with them alone, otherwise we would still cooperate. What do you think? Maybe our two families won't be able to fight enough. If we want to fight, then drag everyone down. We both wanted to go to a place. As long as our two families work together to persuade them to join in and take action together, it will be simple. I'll go and say that it's okay to entrust the snow worship sect to you, right? Okay. We have been operating at sea all year round, and those things have no effect on us. We just need to take more food from the warehouse, and we hope you can supply more fuel when the time comes. Qingpu Steel Plant. Director Liu and Director Sun, you guys are really good at being dogs. It was really unfair for you to be human before. The ladies from Boss Yangqing Base are looking for you. Oh, Xiao Honglian, why did that girl come to me? I said there is something very important to talk to you about. Okay, then go see what she's up to. Granddad. Didn't I tell you? It's okay, don't come out. It's too cold outside. If you really want to come out, put on your hat and scarf. It won't be very cold. It's very warm inside the steel mill. If I freeze you and catch a cold, you'll suffer. You can play with Lele for a while first. Dad, go over and do something. He'll come over to accompany you later. Lele, this is 1, this is 2. Woo-woo. Qingpu base office. Boss, they've been waiting for you for a long time. Look at what you're saying, no one can stay on the communicator all day long. I had something to do earlier, why did you come to me? Just tell me directly. The Shishan base has been destroyed. I don't know what your Qingpu base has in mind. I don't think you're interested in the northeastern part of Shishan district that borders us. Anyway, their territory is so big that no one can eat it for a while, so why don't we discuss how to divide it up? That's easy to say, but there's still one more question in front of us now. There was a very powerful force occupying the territory of Shishan base in the past. If we don't clean it up, anyone who goes there will be a risk. My people and Wei Dinghai's people were both killed by him. Tianhai City really has such amazing people. Bite a piece of meat from the mouth of Shishan base and dare to attack both of your bases at the same time. The news is not false. We have investigated and found that they are not a powerful force like us, but rather an elite team with a relatively small number of people. There are many mutants in the team, and their strength is very strong. They are backed by a shelter that is comparable to a military fortress, and even the Shishan base cannot take them down. If their strength is strong enough, we cannot rashly attack and travel long distances to areas that are not our own territory to fight. Before we start fighting, we can get a 30% discount. So this time we invite you to join us in fighting them. Our Yanqing base and Chaoyu base have already made an appointment. With your nod, we will launch an attack together. When the 3 of us reach an agreement, the members of the Snow Cult must also send troops. What do you think of dividing the entire Shishan and Lujiang districts after the 4 families join forces to capture them? Is it the force you mentioned that caused the uproar with Shishan base back then? Can we break through the defense of Shishan base despite their strong armed forces? The people who built that shelter were at the Yanqing base, and then I will naturally have a way to break through their defenses and kill them. I need to reconsider this matter, and I need you to provide me with information about the shelter. There's no problem with this. You can think about it carefully. It's a huge profit for your Qingpu base, and you won't regret it. End of call. Received new file. Zhang Yi. It's not that coincidental, is it? What were you talking about just now, Grand Decree? Master, I am loyal to you and to the Snow Worship sect. Please believe every word I say. In that mysterious sanctuary, there is a powerful person with abilities comparable to yours. Perhaps he is the right-hand man of the gods and can help you achieve great things. I understand how hard it is for you. According to the law, you should go down and rest first. The situation has changed. It seems that everyone underestimated the strength of Zhang Yi and his team. If that's the case, even if we all join forces to attack that shelter, we may not necessarily be able to capture it. But if we can join forces with Zhang Yi to deal with others, the situation will be wonderful. New news. How long has it been since Xing Weinan graduated from junior high school? He's still alive. Surprisingly, he hasn't died yet. It seems that he has some means. Xing Weinan. Long time no see, old classmate. Fortunately, how are you doing now? Ha ha ha, it's really you. Are you still alive? I never expected you to become so powerful. But I'm not bad either. Now I'm also the director of the largest steel plant in Tianhai City. How about that? Isn't the largest steel plant in Tianhai City the Qingpu steel plant? Xing Weinan has become the factory director there. You are now the leader of Qingpu base. Typing is too troublesome. Do you know that my cultural level is not high, so I prefer voice chat? Isn't the leader of Qingpu base called Xingtian? Why did you change his name? I thought Xing Weinan's name wasn't domineering enough, so I changed it. Listen, does Xing Tian's name sound very powerful? The nouveau riche who suddenly gained the ability to soar to heaven wants to rely on changing their name to gain confidence. Tell me, what do you want to talk about when you suddenly contact me? I was planning to catch up with you and reminisce about the past. You see, at that time I didn't do well in school, unlike you who were handsome, popular among girls, and had good academic performance. Hey, who would have thought that I would also have such a day of success? Don't you think so, old classmate? If we want to reminisce about the past, we can gradually talk about how curious I am, so why don't you tell me what your purpose is? All right then, let's talk about the main matter. Zhang Yi, didn't you kill people from Yangqing Base and Chaoyu Base before? Now they have decided to mess with you. And for safety reasons, they called me and the members of the Snow Worship sect. If we really launch an attack together, I'm afraid you'll suffer the same fate. 4 households. If that's the case, the pressure that needs to be faced will double. So you came to me this time to declare war. Old classmate, what era is this? There's no such thing as declaring war. If I really want to go over and fight with them, I'll definitely hit you unexpectedly. This time I'm here to catch up with you and talk about our past relationships. How would you like to talk about it? Let's hear it. We have no grudges between our Qingpu base and you. I can choose not to fight this battle, but you must provide sufficient conditions. To prevent us from joining this war, you need at least 10,000 kilograms of food. 10,000 kilograms. Is this the confidence of underachievers? 10,000 kilograms is equivalent to 10 tons. My warehouse can easily find more than 10 tons of food on just a few shelves. He wouldn't think that's a lot, would he? Let me think about this matter again. After all, you need too much food. You have to give me some time. Okay, I'll give you 1 day to think about it. You can't do any more. Give me a reply before noon tomorrow. You need to think it over carefully. I understand, so let's put it this way for now. 10 tons of food is not much for me, so I can give him the canned food I retrieved from the Shishan base. Oh, by the way, there's also that pile of canned food that Wang Siming didn't finish in the warehouse before. That thing weighed the most, and there was a lot of soup and water inside. Can you just trust him? You can agree to pay a partial deposit first, and I will pay the remaining amount after the Qingpu base performs satisfactorily after the battle. Be prepared for the worst and fight the toughest battle. Only by deterring all the forces in Tianhai City can peace be achieved. I don't think the situation is as bad as imagined. These 4 major forces seem to be working together, but in fact, they are also wary of each other. The only ones who have conflicts with us are the Yangqing and Chaoyu bases. The Baishiu sect and Qingpu base were both recruited by them. Our biggest weakness is that we have too few people. If there are too many opponents, we have a great disadvantage in dividing our forces and fighting. We can rely on the defense line to hit the first wave first. The area around the shelter is not empty. Behind it are 2 low mountains that form a natural barrier, and coupled with heavy snow and slippery roads, they cannot rush down from the mountains to attack. So our main target is still the enemy within a 120-degree wide angle directly in front, and our firepower distribution is mainly in this area. Our goal is not to defeat them, but to repel them and make them recognize that we have the strength to dominate our own side. After finishing, I will negotiate with them to turn the area around the shelter into a restricted zone and not allow them to enter. Even when facing the pressure of 3 attacking at the same time, there is still considerable pressure. We estimate that our first line of defense will soon be breached and we will have to retreat to the shelter for defense. Our strongest defense is the shelter itself, and the second is your dimensional gate, boss. So many people attack at the same time, and there are various ways to attack. What if they have the means to break through the shelter? After all, the Yangqing base holds a large amount of fuel resources, and they can use many large equipment and even possibly possess special abilities of aliens. You don't need to worry about these problems. If you encounter them, I will go and solve them. Meow meow. Something is approaching here. Go to see. This kind of weather, no matter where you come from outside, you can't treat it like an ordinary elderly person. He should be an alien, but I don't know which faction he comes from or what purpose he came with. I recognize him. He is the great decree of the snow worship sect that I once saw in the Yahello community. What is the purpose of sending someone here now, by Jiao? As far as I know, the relationship between Baishua's sect and other major forces in Tianhai City has always been strained. If they want to dissolve their alliance from within, then the snow cult is the best breakthrough point. I have no fondness for things that are not much different from cults. But if they have any practical value, they can have some contact with them. Fatty, go out and talk to him. Turn on the microphone and I'll tell you how to talk to him. Boss, I'm the weakest among us. It's not suitable for me to go, right? Your abilities are most easily displayed in icy and snowy environments. Don't worry, we won't give him a chance to touch you. Once he makes any strange movements, I will instantly kill him. Okay. Go out and don't let him get close to the defense line, so he won't discover our arrangement. Stop, don't get any closer. I am Zhao Jianhua, the Grand Preceptor of the Snow Cult. I believe he is not Mr. Zhang Yi, is he? Come find me. This old man seems to be able to see through human talent. He once approached me, but I refused. It was he who helped Li Jian awaken his supernatural abilities. This is indeed a very useful ability, especially when used in conjunction with the blessing of their leader Yuan Kongye. It's a perfect match. Ask him what he wants me to do. Our boss is not something you can meet just by looking at him. If you have anything to say, just say it here. He can hear our conversation. This person is so cautious that he doesn't even want to meet in person. I am here on the order of the sect leader to deliver a particularly important message to Mr. Zhang Yi. In 3 days, the 3 major bases of Yangqing, Chaoyu, Qingchuan, and Puyi will join forces to attack your shelter. These vicious and shameless warlords and villains actually have reckless killing intentions and attempt to destroy such a beautiful homeland. They even want to seduce our Lord to launch an attack on you. The Snow Worship Church has always been devout in serving the gods and spreading love and peace to the world, so they are very resistant to their advice. Therefore, we hope to collaborate with Mr. Zhang Yi. Here we go. It's exactly what we thought. The 4 major forces in Tianhai City are also scheming with each other, and there is no unity or cooperation to speak of. As long as the interests are in place, they can betray their backstabbing at any time. The more they divide us, the greater our chances of winning this battle. Oh, do you mean you can withdraw from this operation and not join the attack on us? If it's just that, how can it be considered a cooperation? The purpose of my worship of snow is to love and peace, and to resolutely combat all evil forces. We hope to work together with you to deal with the other forces. We, the Snow Worship Sect, like Your Excellency, have no background or reliance on other forces to fear our rise. We, like Your Excellency, are oppressed by other forces and struggling to survive. We should unite to resist the hegemony of Al-Qaeda. What can you use to prove your sincerity if you want to cooperate? Master knows that Mr. Zhang Yi is a cautious person. If he doesn't have enough sincerity, he won't be able to convince you of the sincerity of our Snow Worship Sect. So I have brought you the holy relics of the Snow Worship Church this time, and I believe you will understand our sincerity. This is the sacred object of the Snow Worship Sect, the Ice Soul. What is the purpose of Ice Soul? The function of Ice Soul is very simple. It can help people unlock their spiritual energy and become aliens. For aliens, it can deeply explore their potential and make them stronger. Mr. Zhang Yi, I don't think you've been in Tianhai City for so long and haven't heard of this at all, have you? Do you think I would believe your nonsense? This so-called Ice Soul actually has some hidden aspects, right? Tell Supanzi the truth. Ice Soul is a sacred object with absolutely no side effects. Prior to this, all 4 major shelters in Tianhai City had requested it from us. What 4 major bases have all been used before? Qingqing, retrieve the information and take a look. There are indeed records in this regard. Among the earliest batch of mutants in Shishan base, 2 of them had the ability to awaken through the ice soul, and it was precisely because of this implanted method that they began to study the transformation of humans. According to the report from Shishan base, this thing called ice soul should be a cell detached from the human body. Does this thing have any side effects? According to records, the 4 major bases have all requested ice souls from the Snow Cult to create mutants. These cells do not contain any harmful substances and cannot be manipulated to implant through cell manipulation. The reason why the Snow Worship sect has developed to its current scale is largely due to the survival space obtained through the use of ice spirits. If what is recorded here is true, then ice soul is undoubtedly a good thing. There really exists something that allows people to become mutants without experiencing near-death experiences, or that can inspire their potential. Ask him if this thing can be used by ordinary people. I don't believe in such a good thing. Even if it does exist, there will definitely be side effects. Its effect varies depending on human potential. We have tried it before, although there are occasional exceptions, it only has a weak effect on ordinary people. So it's best to use it on mutants as it's most suitable. Aren't you afraid that we will refuse to cooperate with the Snow Cult? I mean, did you give it too generously? No matter what, the result of several major forces joining forces to attack you cannot be changed. Even if we cannot reach a cooperation to make you stronger and kill more people from other forces, it will still be a win-win situation for us. Old stuff is quite calculating. I understand that you want to use us to weaken the power of several major bases, but specifically, how do you plan to do it? We will pretend to attack your shelter with them when the time comes. Of course, we don't work hard and pretend to attack nearby, but once they reveal their weaknesses, we will stab them hard in the back. Just waiting for the fishermen to benefit, right? The abacus beads are jumping on my face. I understand. If what you are giving is indeed effective, then I will agree to your proposal. I believe you won't be disappointed. Since we have already shown our sincerity, should Mr. Zhang Yi also express your sincerity? The hardest battle is when we're fighting. What else do you want? You misunderstood. We don't need you to provide any supplies, we just hope that after winning this battle, we can allow the Snow Worshippers to preach in your territory. For the Snow Worship Church, it is our lifelong wish to allow more people to immerse themselves in the glory of the Snow God. Preaching is really in line with their style, isn't it just pulling heads? As long as we can successfully repel the enemy, there is no problem with the conditions you proposed. Then we await your good news. Nowadays, Qingpu Base remains neutral and has the opportunity to prevent them from taking action. If they worship the Snow Cult, they will cooperate with me to backstab other forces. The development of the situation is becoming increasingly interesting. What should we do with this thing, boss? Don't worry, come over to the door. There are no signs of foreign objects or dangerous goods. Is this the Ice Soul? Is it true that the Ice Soul of Yuan Kong Yi is simply a key to unlocking superpowers? Are you joking? I don't believe such good things exist in this world. If only the people from the 4 major bases had used it, it would have been enough, but the problem is that the big law applied it to Li Jian. In the apocalypse, everyone is in danger and thinking about how to become stronger so that they can protect themselves. Who would be selfless enough to help others? It's just a lie that 2 ice souls have a chance to create 2 mutants with such great temptation and not be tempted. Do you want to use Zhang Yi's 2 ice souls? You just heard about this ice soul. It can help people awaken their abilities. The 4 major Al-Qaeda organizations have already used it, and so far no side effects have been found. But I don't trust it. I never believed that pies would fall from the sky. You need to carefully consider these 2 ice souls. I can only use one at most now. In other words, the first person to use it will have to act as a guinea pig. I am willing to give it a try. Your will is the strongest, so I have decided to give you an ice soul to use. Great, thank you, Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi, thank you. Thank you for giving me such a great opportunity. Fool, my love for you is as deep as the ocean. If I don't take care of you, who else can I take care of? Since it was selected for the experiment, it is natural that it is a loss and insignificant existence. She was able to step forward voluntarily, which saved me a lot of effort. All right, let's continue discussing the combat plan. My opinion is to temporarily forget about the possibility of these two forces becoming allies. No one is trustworthy, and there is a high possibility of a sudden reversal. So we still need to be prepared to face the forces from all sides, but if any unexpected changes occur on the scene at that time, let our shelter become the hell where they die. Kuer, you are responsible for watching Yangmi. In order to prevent her from experiencing any abnormalities, you will first inject her with a certain dose of muscle relaxant and sedative. Well, I got it. I'll go get the medicine right away. Fool, do you really think I didn't let you use Ice Soul because I care more about her? I was afraid that Ice Soul might have side effects, that's why I didn't use it for you. So that's what you think. Never trust anything given by strangers. In the apocalypse, any negligence or carelessness can lead to death. Kuer, you are a very important doctor in our team, even more important than a stranger, but Yangmi is different. She urgently needs to prove her value. I understand now. As long as you listen obediently, don't have any unnecessary thoughts. Hello Zhang Yi, you figured it out. I figured it out, we can collaborate, but I want to find a different way of working together. Oh, how do you want to collaborate? According to the amount of food you said, I will give you twice as much, but you have to win this battle. It's impossible for me to help you. Qingpu Base has never provoked anyone. I don't want to fight with you, let alone offend the other three forces at the same time. No, I don't need you to fight anyone. I just need you to bring someone over and pretend to be attacking. Let me take someone to act, Zhang Yi. What kind of medicine are you selling in your gourd? You don't have to worry about what I want to do. You should know that there is no conflict of interest or grudge between us. As long as you bring someone over to perform a scene, I can give you double the food. Do you want to take this job or not? There's no reason not to accept this kind of good thing, but what exactly is Zhang Yi's purpose? It's just to play a role in the past. Ha ha ha, there's no reason why I shouldn't agree to this kind of good thing, but before that, you have to send the food to show your sincerity. Anyway, the person who promised me won't suffer any losses. They won't take advantage, they won't take advantage. I will give you 1/3 as a deposit first, and then give you the remaining part after the matter is completed. Okay, tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, we will trade at the original site of Shishan Base. It's settled with one word. At present, it seems that they have joined forces with the Qingpu Base and the Baishua sect, but the worst-case scenario is that they may temporarily turn against the enemy and ultimately face a joint attack from the four major forces. The worst outcome would be to abandon the two-story building on the surface and enter the more heavily fortified underground. Once I reach that point, I will definitely cause those guys to suffer heavy casualties. Zhang Yi, and Yangmi have undergone changes. Go over and take a look. Zhang Yi, I succeeded. Since Hua is not alert, it seems that everything is fine now. Is it because I'm overthinking that even the four major bases have verified that there are no problems with Ice Soul? It really doesn't have any side effects. How do you feel now? What kind of abilities have you awakened? Sure enough, my only fate is to do housework at home. My ability is to create food for banquets that can help others recover their depleted abilities. Sure enough, it's still an auxiliary ability. That's good. I'm not very good at fighting originally. This is a very useful ability so that we don't have to worry about excessive consumption of superpowers during battles. Can you help her untie the restraints? Wait until tomorrow when you recover and show everyone your abilities. Okay. The effectiveness of this thing depends on an individual's potential, as stated in that big law. Yang Mi's potential is only so great, even if it's her awakening ability, it's just an auxiliary feeling, which is somewhat similar to Li Jian's. The second day. Come over now, change the trading location to Shujia Town, Lujiang District. Your place. I'm going to be surrounded and attacked, not you. I should be careful and there shouldn't be a big mistake, right? You wouldn't suspect that I have ulterior motives towards you, would you? Okay, then it's up to you to stay in Shujia Town. Shujia Town. Lele, be good and don't whimper. Ha ha ha, long time no see, old classmate. I can't believe we haven't seen each other for 10 years, but we're meeting again in this kind of environment. Yeah, I thought how could I have a good drink at a class reunion? But judging from your current appearance, you're doing very well and have become a prominent figure in Tianhai City. Who could have imagined that I, who was once unremarkable in school, would have today? Zhang Yi, don't worry about these foods. It's definitely worth cooperating with our Qingpu base. I don't know if you remember when I had a fight with a few people from the neighboring class in junior high school. Indeed, there is such a thing that seems to be because a few hooligans from the next class are chasing after our class's Fanxing-san, but the person Fanxing-san has been secretly in love with is you. When the 5 of them hit me, I knew I couldn't beat them, so I caught that guy and knocked out 3 of his teeth. This time I gave you food and I hope you can abide by our agreement. Otherwise, if you break your promise, I will spare no effort to lead the traitor to death together. When the time comes, we'll see if your Qingpu base can survive in Tianhai City. Hee, Zhang Yi, are you underestimating me too much? Let me tell you, what I relied on when I was released from prison is 2 words of loyalty. You'll just wait and see when the time comes. In that case, of course it would be best. I also don't want our old classmates to cause blood to splash on the streets. Let's go. We need to prepare for the battle. I'm just worried that if the food is fed to the white-eyed wolves and they turn back, we'll suffer a big loss. They probably wouldn't dare, even though it's been over a decade, Xing Weinan's personality hasn't changed much. The guy who finally took advantage of the chaos will risk everything he has to bet on me. He has already tasted the sweetness. Compared to fighting with us, he would choose the strategy of doing nothing but reaping the greatest rewards. Of course, we cannot completely rule out the possibility of their defection. Anyway, we should be prepared to deal with all possibilities. Zhang Yi, I have mastered the skills of using my abilities. Come and taste the food I made. Oh, you're so proficient in using it so quickly. You really have it. It seems that you have all tasted Master Yang's cuisine, haven't you? Yes, Big Brother Yang's cooking is really delicious. And these dishes seem to have a magical power that makes people energetic and full of energy after eating them. It seems that the dishes made by her superpowers are not only effective for mutants, but also for ordinary people, which is quite useful. Teacher Liang didn't emo after eating your food. That's for sure. Eating the food I make can refresh and invigorate the mind, and even eliminate negative physical states. Zhang Yi, come and try it too. It smells good, it must be delicious. It seems like there's no problem. Good thing. Will the effectiveness of the food you make with your abilities fade over time? I haven't tried this before, but I have. Indeed, the food I just made has a better effect. I'll solve the storage problem. From today on, prepare a large amount of this kind of food, preferably convenient items such as energy bars. As long as the food made from yangmi is placed in another space, there is no need to worry about the loss of efficacy. This is equivalent to having consumables that can restore abilities and physical strength at any time. The next day. Have all your people arrived nearby? Everyone is in place, Leader Xiao. Rest assured. When we set off in the morning, a flagpole suddenly collapsed at the entrance. You're quite superstitious. No, this is not superstition. I'm just a little worried, and this worry is getting stronger and stronger now. This is the first time since the end of the world that such a large-scale war has occurred. We have never gathered so many troops to fight a war that could affect the fate of the Yangqing base. A small shelter with less than 10 people, even if they are all aliens, what can we do? Besides, this time our 4 families will take action to eliminate them easily. Don't worry, there won't be any accidents this time, and there are no forces in Tianhai City that can withstand attacks from all 4 of us at the same time. I'm afraid the other companies won't be reliable. Ha ha ha, of course they're not reliable anymore. Those guys are all bloodthirsty scum who will rush forward whenever they smell the smell of blood. We are all the same and enjoy bullying the weak, especially the fat and weak prey. Who can resist its temptation? I also think so. After all, from the perspective of strength, we have no possibility of failure. You're just too nervous. After we win, let's have a good drink and then you'll understand the joy of victory. What you're saying is probably because I'm too nervous. Sanctuary. The attack time is 2 p.m. Got it. Liang Yu, I'll lend you this thing temporarily. I am not a martial arts fighter and close combat is not my strong suit, but I can better utilize the dimension gate and sniper capabilities to support me in the rear. As the alien shelters fighting at the forefront, you will provide maximum support. Yes. Be prepared to treat the wounded, Kuer. Yangmi, please rest well and make as many miracle foods as possible to restore our abilities. All the firepower devices on the front line of Xinxin will be controlled by you. Our firepower output points are quite numerous and cannot be controlled by ordinary people at the same time. And among those people, there may be our helpers who are at least neutral forces. You need to shoot according to my orders. Ah, finally you can kill the enemy with your own hands. What a wonderful battle. Zhang Yi, brother Xinxin, will be your best helper. Okay, now go back to your respective positions. Enemies could come at any time. There's no need to be too nervous. This battle may end soon or it may be too long. If the tension is too tight, it can easily lead to problems. This perspective is an excellent sniper point. Xiao AI, open the window in front of you. There are only 2 things to do. First, try to kill the opponent's ordinary soldiers as much as possible before starting the war. The second is to rely on the ability of the Dimension Gate to help those fighting outside defend to the maximum extent possible. Once these 2 tasks are completed, I will decisively choose to abandon the first line of defense and have everyone return to the shelter. Attention everyone, the enemy has appeared about 5 kilometers away. The other companies seem to have not arrived yet, so let's stop here and occupy the favorable terrain first, so that our artillery can hit the front of the shelter. Using ice cubes for defensive fortifications may be a bit clever, but it's embarrassing. How can this thing withstand the attack of artillery fire? And the existence of this kind of thing will actually become an environmental advantage for you. They would never have thought of it. This was supposed to be a suspenseful expedition, not even a war. But I'm very interested in the people in that shelter. If they don't die by then, I can consider letting them serve me. That would be their greatest honor. Enemy attack. Everyone, be on guard immediately and find the enemy. What's going on? Sniper, quickly find him and take him down. Where did this bullet come from? What's going on? Why can't we find where the sniper is? Take my people as targets and shoot at arrogant guys. The ice and snow type mutants seem to have similar abilities to Supongzi. How long can you maintain this ability? If you come to attack me, I don't believe you won't move. All I need is for you to reveal a slight flaw, that's all. There is no cover in the snow, so even if we use our abilities to create snow mist, it temporarily blocks our view. This is not a long-term solution because the distance to Yump Manor is still quite far. The top priority now is to find the sniper lurking in the dark. The sniper's position should be in that direction, so these bullets were fired from the shelter. This place is still over 3 kilometers away from the shelter, and his abilities can support him to easily take down so many of us. Continuing will only increase casualties. Immediately make the convoy retreat. As other forces have not yet arrived, there is no need for us to make meaningless sacrifices. Just withdraw from his shooting range. Retreat. What should I do if my car breaks down? Don't leave us behind. Find a way to save us. Once we leave the snow and fog, we will become living targets. Slow down and have the soldiers in that car transfer over. Damn it, our armor is too weak to withstand this kind of anti-material sniper rifle. Get out of here quickly and speed up. If there are any wounded soldiers, don't worry, they will have a hard time surviving anyway. I don't know how many people he will kill if he continues like this. I'll go over there. Even though my abilities can counteract the vast majority of physical attacks, the pain is still real. It seems that they are waiting for someone to arrive at Chiron and then trying to find a way to approach and launch an attack. But whoever comes here must be prepared to face my sniping. What's the situation with Zhang Yi and the others? I killed dozens of people and then they all retreated back. They were probably preparing to attack again when people from other forces arrived. You've already killed dozens of people. My goodness, you're the boss. Are you too fierce? What's so strange about this? It's just a basic operation. Remote sniping and defense are my strengths. If they break through my gun encirclement and kill outside the defense line, it will be up to you to resist. It's not a problem for me to use my divine power to kill a few mutants when necessary. Then let's see if they have the ability to survive under your sniping, boss. So many casualties in total. Not only that, 1 car has been completely scrapped and 3 cars are severely damaged. It's very difficult to drive them back. How could such a poor start happen? It's unreasonable that Zhang Yi and his team have such a powerful alien. Did you say that there are Epsilon-level mutants in Tianhai City? If you want to exercise a certain field to the extreme, you will inevitably have a weakness in your abilities. No one can be a flawless hexagonal warrior. So his melee must be his weakness. So as long as we get closer to the shelter, we can use visual blind spots to avoid his shooting. Leader, the enemy sniper is too terrifying. We can no longer attack directly from the front. I think we'd rather take a long detour than avoid him. Tromboning. It's better to launch an attack from here. There are many covers here to avoid being sniped. It's a good idea, but let's not act hastily and find a place to hide for now. Concealing. Haven't we already been discovered? What's the point of hiding now? The hardships of snipers cannot be tasted by our family, but we must let them experience the feeling of being hunted as prey. Ah! My hand, my hand. Quickly find that damn sniper for me and take him down. He's so tired of ambushing him in such a place. Oh, finally a decent guy has appeared. Is it that far away? Even if the body undergoes ability enhancement and directly resists the burden, it is still too heavy. I'm ready. It's interesting that they also carry heavy firearms. Dumb bullet. Ah. Counterattack. Continue to counterattack. Not good. I'll do it. Retreat. Why do both of them want to leave when they first arrived? We have to treat everyone well. A sniper with super strong abilities, and the opponent also has the ability to rebound artillery attacks. It cannot be determined whether it is the ability possessed by one person or two people, but either of these abilities can be considered terrifying. I finally understand why only a few of them can block the attack of Shishan base for a month now. Leader, how should we proceed next? Although we can forcefully break through, we are still 7 kilometers away from Young Manor. Let's not continue moving forward. It's better to let the other companies go first and attract the sniper's firepower, which will consume his abilities. I asked them to stand by in place. Hello Wei Dinghai, where have you been now? Oh, we'll be there in a little while. Have you arrived yet? Not yet. We have a long journey and should only arrive at the end, but it won't delay the agreed time. Let's meet up and talk about it later. Hurry up and taste the sniper bullets. Why are you guys running away when so many people just died? Do you want to play some fancy games again? Boss, if you have a chance to kill the alien, why don't you kill the alien first? After all, we're on the front line. Can you relieve some pressure on us? Oh, I'll try my best, but you better not have too much hope. The effectiveness of alien firearms, especially those of the Enhanced and Orc series, which have survived to this day, is already very low. You also know that only slightly weaker opponents can double my strength. I have intentionally let the other party discover my ability to rebound attacks, so that they will be wary of the use of large firearms. In this way, the first line of defense can last longer, as it is difficult to break through the 10-meter thick ice and snow wall without using large firearms. Who will be the next batch of people to come? I won't waste bullets on them, will I? The people of the Snow Worship sect have also arrived, and now all 3 except for the Qingpu base have arrived. Didn't we say before that the people from Baishu sect and Qingpu base were helpers? If they also launch an attack, we won't kill them. As long as you approach the defense line, you can kill to the death. Okay, I understand. This way, it's much simpler. If Zhang Yi and his team can block a few waves of attacks and consume the living strength of the other 3, we will give them a heavy blow from behind. If Zhang Yi can't stop their attack, then we'll have to break our promise and join in their plunder. Without my orders, no one is allowed to launch an attack on Zhang Yi's shelter at will. Today, our main purpose is to come and watch a play. Everyone has already arrived nearby, right? So, according to our original plan, we will attack the shelter from 4 directions. 03 During a conversation with multiple people. We plan to launch a surprise attack from behind the shelter. The shelter is backed by a low mountain. Do you want to climb over? It's precisely because of this that we were able to surprise them and hand them over to you directly. Let's go back and fight. I was originally here to watch the show, so you wouldn't have noticed that I was just slacking off. Alright, let's leave the matter of frontal attack to the 3 of us. By the way, when we arrived, we found that they had a very strong sniper. You'd better be careful. In addition, there are aliens among them who can rebound artillery attacks, so it's best to consider carefully when using large firearms, otherwise it will only cause harm to ourselves. Oh, I also want to remind everyone about this matter. We have also suffered considerable losses in this regard. Okay, got it. Okay, let's set a time of 2:30 and launch an attack from 4 directions together. Brother Zhang Yi, there are enemies appearing in the direction of the back mountain. So it's these guys, you don't have to worry. They're probably planning to run over and fish. The enemy has appeared and is preparing for battle. Hands on. Artillery, tanks, and machine guns. Oh my God, where did they get these weapons from? These heavy firearms are only held by Shishan Base in the entire Tianhai City. Did they rob the weapons depot of Shishan Base? How did they do it? Immediately disperse and counterattack. This defense line is just an ice wall. If we break it, we can kill it. As long as we get close to that shelter, we win. I've been wondering why Zhang Yi dares to confront so many forces at the same time, but he still has such a hidden hand. Brothers, shoot to make the commotion louder, but be careful not to aim at people. Boss, where is anyone around here? If you're asked to shoot, just shoot wherever you want. Anyway, don't hurt anyone. I, Xingtian, am a tough and resolute man who keeps his word. If we take someone else's things, we must do our best. Unless Zhang Yi is defeated by them, we will not take advantage of him. This won't work. We underestimated the firepower configuration of this shelter. We must work together to break through this outer defense line. Their firepower should be mostly here, and they don't have enough manpower. As long as they break through the defense line, they will fall into a comprehensive disadvantage. You guys cover me with firepower, I'll take care of it. Good. Carry out firepower suppression and cooperate with the attack on the ice and snow defense line at Chaoyu Base. In the world of ice and snow, I am king. Charge in. Wei Dinghai's abilities are countless times stronger than those of Su Pengzi. Let's start taking action. Surprisingly, he was able to shatter my frost armor. Su Pengzi. I didn't expect there to be such a powerful melee expert in Zhang Yi's shelter. But my goal has already been achieved. Teacher Liang, don't act impulsively. Just hold onto the gap and let her go. The big ones are still ahead. Be careful, everyone. Their mutants are also coming over. Victory is right in front of us, charge forward. My ears. Isn't it appropriate to treat my people like vegetables? Interesting. Even a sniper rifle can't penetrate my body. Do you still want to break free? Damn beast. Everyone retreat back to the shelter. Liang Yu, you're the same. You can't get revenge alone. Be rational. Still watching, haha. Shinshin, aim all the remaining firepower at Baishua's sect and shoot in unison. Yes. Zhang Yi, you. It's almost time to take action. All the believers follow my orders and march into the shelter. What should we do now, Zhang Yi? Should we give up the two-story building on the surface and hide underground? What's the rush? The defense ability of the shelter is not so easy to break. It seems that this is their confidence in attacking. You guys go to the first floor and wait. Try this. Do you really think breaking the first line of defense is enough to win? It's really foolish. The shelter is my biggest reliance. That's Wu Huiren. No wonder they are so confident to attack my shelter with such skill. Chen Jingguan, Deputy Officer of Chaoyu Base. Ability Rubber Man. Disperse and launch attacks from the side, blocking his line of sight. Warning, the shelter walls are continuously subjected to high temperatures and cutting damage, with a degree of 0001. Continuously cutting, Wu Huiren has started to take action. How long does it take for Xiaoyai to break through? At the current speed, it will take 1 hour and 29 minutes to completely penetrate. Boss, should we withdraw? Don't worry, just wait a little longer. We're just rushing in. Although the loss is huge, as long as we obtain the materials held by Zhang Yi, it is not a problem. What's going on? Where did the explosion come from? It's those crazy people from the Snow Cult who came with explosives on their bodies to find us and die together. What? Those damn bastards dared to sneak attack us. Ha ha ha, Xiao Honglian, Wei Dinghai, you two damn guys are still here today. You all have to die for me. From now on, Tianhai City is no longer a place where you can show off your strength. We can close the door and fight the dog. Why did Baishua's sect suddenly defect? Did they secretly reach a cooperation from the beginning? Fortunately, luckily now I don't have to do anything to make a fortune. If they fight like this, won't the strongest force in Tianhai City after that be our Qingpu base? Ha ha ha. Over there. Xingtian, this guy started pretending to be dead. This damn bastard must have also betrayed us. Quickly withdraw. The three of them are secretly colluding together, and if they don't leave soon, it will be too late. It's impossible. Why would Baishua's sect and Qingpu base cooperate with Zhang Yi? The whole army is retreating. Get lost, everyone. Not good, they've all left. Who will cover me? I thought I would let you go. We won. These cultists are truly terrifying and are likely to be a major threat in the future. The Snow Worship Sect is a group of fearless and fanatic believers. Losing my team members to kill them is definitely not worth it. You can come over and take the remaining portion of the food. Wait a moment, we have other things to deal with. Other things. All right, everyone, we have one. It's okay, it's already over and you've avenged your students. This crazy woman. She just rushed into the enemy's battle alone and was lucky to survive. Kuer immediately helped her prepare for the surgery. Hold on, Teacher Liang. This battle is over, you can leave now. From now on, the territory of Shishan Base belongs to me, Zhang Yi. Without my permission, none of you are allowed to approach. Thank you for helping us win this war. According to the agreement, no snow worshippers except missionaries will approach this land. I hope that in the future, we can peacefully coexist and respect each other in the snow cult with your excellency. Ah, of course. After all, I am a pacifist. The reason why Baishiu's sect was unable to develop rapidly at the beginning was due to the constraints of several major bases. And now that they have lost their constraints, to what extent will they expand? Maybe I released a monster, but now I have no choice. 3 mutants have all turned into empty shells. Well, what's the situation? Did someone else absorb it? The battle is so intense that no one would specifically devour these people's abilities. Let's take them back first and then talk about it. Let's go. It's time for us to take a good rest when we go back. Look, you made such a big fuss just now that your whole body was covered in blood. Take a walk, go back and rest for a while. By Shui Jiao Xingtian, these bastards have betrayed us. How many benefits did Xingtian Zhang Yi give you to choose to betray us? Don't act impulsively. Xingtian and his team did not launch an attack on us. These guys are just wall grass and have never really joined the battle. So I guess they took some of Zhang Yi's benefits and stood on the sidelines, not helping anyone. These guys have always acted steadily and refused to take risks. If they can get benefits without fighting, they will be happy to do so. What about the agreement between us? He broke his promise and caused us heavy losses. Nowadays, both of our major forces have suffered heavy losses. Do you think it's possible to seek justice from Xingtian? If they don't take advantage of the situation, it's the best outcome. Xiaohong, Lianwei Dinghai, why are you in a hurry to leave? Xingtian, you didn't follow our agreement to attack Zhang Yi's shelter. What are you trying to do now? Are you still not sure what I want to do? Both of you are wealthy local tycoons, and I'm here to collect some tolls. Isn't that too much? Xingtian, I don't understand. As long as you join forces with us to take down Zhang Yi's shelter, we can divide the entire Xishan and Lujiang districts together. But why did you choose not to help each other? Do you already know the background of Zhang Yi and his team? The reason is simple. Qingpu Base does not have as many vehicles and energy resources as you do, so it does not have the ability to have long-arm jurisdiction. Even if I win this battle and divide the territory, I am not a match for your 2 major bases, so Zhang Yi promised to give me 10 tons of food, and I happily agreed. Okay, now we should talk about the issue of tolls. How many supplies do you need to provide to buy roads? Everyone has worked hard. Today is a celebration banquet. Open up and replenish the consumed food. Yao office. The surgery is over. How about Liang Yu's injury? Is it a big problem? The wound is very deep, but I have already stitched it up. She is a reinforcement type alien with superior physical abilities compared to ordinary people, and her recovery speed is very fast, so there won't be any major problems. And humans are really great. They offer various conveniences. But in times of crisis, your medical skills are also needed to save lives, aren't they? Master, fortunately, under the protection of the snow god, we have achieved great victory. The bandits from Chaoyu Base and Yangqing Base have been severely injured by us, causing them great damage and making it difficult for them to pose a threat to our snow worship sect from now on. Thank you for your hard work. The High Priest and gods will not forget your achievements. But we also lost many devout believers, including Father Lin Fei and Father Mencius. They haven't left, they've already returned here. I can feel their presence. May every deceased be with the Lord. There is nothing left to stop our expansion now. I want the glory of the snow god to shine on every corner of the Sea City. Then, the whole country and even the whole world must make Snow God the only true God, and worship the glory of Snow Cult forever. The glory of the Snow Worship sect will always be there. 1 week later. Teacher Liang, are you feeling better now? Don't mind, Teacher Liang has been like this for the past few days since he woke up. Has her mood changed? Let her go, and it doesn't seem like anything serious. After the heavy damage to the Yangqing and Chaoyu bases, there will be no major actions for the time being. Xingtian and Qingqian bases picked up a big bargain and became followers of the Snow Cult, who can now spread their teachings freely in Tianhai City. The current situation can be considered a declaration of our victory. At least there is no need to worry about any small moves they may make in the short term. Is something missing? It seems too clean. Why is the body missing? Yesterday afternoon, I remember it was still there. Did they handle it? There are no bodies buried in ice or snow everywhere, but those bodies have really disappeared. In the apocalypse, there are many strange things that cannot be explained. Even living beings can mutate. Will corpses also undergo necromancy? Hey, are you going out? It's nothing. There have been some changes outside. I'll go take a look. These footprints only show the direction of departure and no trace of coming. These bodies were not stolen by anyone, but stood up and walked away step by step from here. What's there to be afraid of? I've killed so many living people, and even if there's dirt, what can I do with me? There's no end in sight, and I don't know where these bodies have gone. What I'm going to say next, don't be afraid. Take a deep breath first to calm yourself down. Last night, over 1,000 bodies outside the shelter disappeared without a trace. I have observed the footprints on the ground, and they are likely to have walked on their own. Zhang Yi, don't make such jokes. It's too scary. Boss, did you put away all the bodies and deliberately play with us? I didn't want to believe it at first, but the fact is right in front of you. You can go and take a look for yourself. Everyone finish their meal first and then follow me out to see what's going on. I found the whereabouts of their footprints, and as long as we follow them, we can definitely find clues. You're the boss. What the hell is this? Why did those bodies come to this place? Can it be said that there are aliens who can manipulate corpses? But to be able to control thousands of corpses and walk such a far distance, it would be too terrifying to have such an alien. Could it be that a zombie crisis has erupted? I wish it were that kind of situation. You wouldn't think that zombies really pose such a great threat to us today, would you? And it's not scientific either. Under such high temperatures, the bodies have already been frozen to death. How could they walk like normal people? Why do I feel familiar around here? It seems like a sight. I know where this is now. I have already stayed in this community called Tsitsu Jiayuan, and the place under our feet is the Tsitsu subway station. I understand, so that means these dead people actually entered the subway tunnel through the station, right? If that's the case, is there something controlling these bodies inside the subway tunnel? Zhang Yi, how should we handle this place? If someone can really manipulate corpses, then he definitely has more than just 1,000, and the number may be unimaginable. If such a person becomes our opponent, it will be very tricky. Don't bother with them for now. We haven't had any conflicts with them, so don't initiate contact with them. From now on, no one should approach this place far away. So, should we keep this unknown thing? Just keep it. Even if something goes wrong one day, the person who will be the most headache will not be me. Yahello community. I have seen the respected decree. The ability bestowed upon you by Li Jianxue, it seems that you can already use it very well. Praise the snow god, praise the almighty master, thank you for granting me the blessing of the master. Now we can survive. Now I have good news for you. You have received permission from the leader to follow us to Tianfeng District and live with the leader and all the followers. Tianfeng District. Don't be afraid, it's a paradise in the apocalypse. All members of our snow worship church are there. In the near future, it will become a utopia unaffected by the apocalypse. You have been chosen and qualified to live there. And I mentioned to the leader that you, Li Jian, greatly appreciate your abilities and believe that they are indispensable to my snow worship sect. So as long as you go there, you and your family will receive special care. Praise the great snow god, praise the leader of the sect. I, Li Jian, am willing to contribute my humble efforts to the snow worship sect. Get up, bring your family and daily necessities with you and follow me to the snow worship camp. The area of Baishua's sect. Li Jian, come with me. The leader wants to see you in person. Then my wife and son. Don't worry, they will naturally have someone to take care of them. Being able to be personally summoned by the leader is an honor. You can come over and we will wait for you here. The leader is a woman. God is everywhere and constantly changing. His image depends on the hearts of believers, so don't pay attention to these details. I understand. I have met the Master, and I am Li Jian. I have received your favor and have been able to survive until now. Very good, your power and great laws have been told to me. From now on, you will be a priest of the Snow Worship Church. I am willing to give everything for the Snow Worship Church. Okay, come with me. This is the sacred tree of my snow worship religion, which can take root hundreds of meters deep underground to absorb nutrients and bear fruit. Its fruit is our most important food. This is what we hope to live on. Do you want to try it? The body is filled with strength, and the feelings of hunger and cold have dissipated. Father Li, your mission is to use your abilities to cultivate this sacred tree and make it grow stronger. Only then can we provide for more believers. I am following your instructions, Your Excellency. From now on, it is your honorable mission to feed the holy tree with blood every day. Teacher Liang, like the boss, has the ability to devour superpowers. There are also differences in the strength of the alien attacking the shelter. We can't keep going like this anymore. Otherwise, every time I fight, I'll just cram and cram. Abilities become more proficient and powerful as they are used, but the most important thing is having a mind. If we consider superpowers as weapons, in addition to increasing their strength, we also need to have a mind to control them. The small stones thrown by experts are even more powerful than the swords thrown by ordinary people. I'm too fixated on my own abilities, but when the boss killed Ling Feng, he didn't rely on his strong abilities, but on intelligence and intelligence. I am unable to devour the abilities of other mutants, so the upper limit is limited. However, if I can develop my abilities to the maximum extent, they may not be powerful enough. A month later. The ruins of Shishan Base. Based on the current situation, Qingpu Base still chooses to maintain a stable position. They have no intention of invading the outside world and are enjoying their current territory. After the defeat of the 5 armies in the Battle of Chaoyu Base, the leader Wei Dinghai was seriously injured, so he was the most conservative and kept shrinking his defense line. even causing other armed forces to emerge in the territory. The dominant position of the Yangqing base remained stable, and it has strongly suppressed several waves of rebellions within its territory. As for the power of the Snow Worship sect, it can be said that they were the biggest beneficiaries of that great war, and their members have rapidly increased, possibly reaching tens of thousands of followers. What do they rely on to support their survival by crazily recruiting followers? Not every ordinary follower can become a useful warrior or labor force. Can it be that Yuan Kongye really used himself as a savior? There is actually another possibility. Well, explain it in detail. Nowadays, the apocalypse is even more difficult than the chaotic times, and it is often during these times that the world's order undergoes significant changes. Brother, you don't have any ambitions and just want to live a stable life, but that doesn't mean other powerful people also think the same way. Baishua's sect quickly became the largest force in Tianhai City by spreading its faith without even resorting to force. When their congregation is large enough and their teachings are widely spread, even the three major bases or some of us may be assimilated. That is to say, someone in the snow worship religion wants to rebuild their faith and become a new deity in the chaotic environment of the apocalypse. This idea sounds a bit ridiculous. Believe me, this matter with my brother is definitely not a joke. People in dire straits will try to seize every opportunity to survive. I admit to the truths you said, but times have changed. Relying solely on a large number of people is not enough to rule everything, and it still cannot gain an absolute advantage over other major forces with modern armed forces. So what if they use the blessing power of Genkyo to awaken a large number of mutants? And humans are just stronger humans, and I have seen many of them before. Only a few are truly powerful enough to be feared. Brother, the only reason you say that is because you are already very powerful now. Baishua's sect. We need to be more careful with this sect. Someone is coming outside. Xiao AI informed everyone in the shelter to immediately gather in the living room and put on their equipment. Take a closer look and see if something has appeared outside. Where did those people come from? Why are there so many people here? Could it be that other forces have joined forces to attack? Is there an enemy attack on Zhangyi? The zombies have really appeared. These bodies didn't all crawl out of Shishan base, did they? How did you tell? You carefully observed that there were some zombies inside wearing the clothes of soldiers from Shishan base. They should all be people from Shishan base, especially civilians from the Fourth Life warehouse. It's quite strange, isn't it? Even though it was such a cold ice age, the bodies were not frozen and could still move. Maybe some kind of virus has been released. Fortunately, some corpses may look scary, but understanding them as carriers parasitized by viruses is just that. Let's go get rid of these guys who are restless even after death. Remember to start with the zombies to have an effect. Big brother, can you give me a gun and let me go shoot it twice too? You stay by my side honestly and be steady when shooting, don't accidentally injure your allies. Allies. Uncle you uses a gun more directly. No need, it's better to save on brainstorming. Sue, let's compare who killed more zombies. That must be me winning. I touched the gun a month before you did. Look out. Rolling. What kind of monster is this? Why can't it be killed? Great. Fortunately, we have the boss's dimension gate. With this, we can clean up all these brainless zombies. Zombies are all mutated corpses and should not have intelligence, but they can detect danger and stop, which is completely illogical. Could it be that there are mutants who can manipulate zombies, just like the soldiers' bodies disappeared for no reason before? If that's the case, then everything makes sense. When Uncle Yu and Liang Yu heard my command and counted to 3, you all tried your best to jump into the sky. I may not be able to drive this thing myself, but I consulted Uncle Yu on how to fire it. Good. Hurry up, they're about to catch up. Why did you run away? Now we can confirm one thing, there must be someone secretly manipulating these zombies. When the mastermind behind the scenes found it difficult to kill us, he chose to run away in order to preserve these zombies. I really can't imagine how humans can manipulate thousands of zombies at the same time. And these bodies were all frozen and could not be killed by beheading. He really has such powerful abilities that he can completely claim the throne in Tianhai City. After all, the most common thing outside now is corpses. We must figure out what these things are and who is controlling them in what way. If they can be stored in a different space, it means they are indeed corpses without biological characteristics. But they are still active, which is unbelievable. Burn all these things clean, at least now we know they can still be burned to death. Can a corpse still move? Is there really a ghost? It's hard to say. This kind of thing is always better to believe in its existence or not. Maintaining reverence is the best. Someone must be manipulating those corpses. Those zombies know how to avoid my dimensional gate and also know that running away is a manifestation of intelligent creatures. So there must be an outsider secretly attacking us. But why did he come to attack us? We have never offended anyone. Recently, only Chaoyu Base and Yangqing Base have been at odds with us. But if they had such a powerful force, wouldn't they have used it in that battle a long time ago? Why wait until now? It's so sudden and easy to figure it out. Anyway, let's stay in the shelter and don't go out. It's very safe here. Those zombies alone can't break through. Xinqian has been observing other forces in recent days to see if this phenomenon is only encountered by us or if it is a common occurrence in Tianhai City. Okay, leave this matter to me. Uncle Yu and Liang Yu, you need to carefully check your bodies to prevent being scratched by those things. Okay, we will cooperate with the inspection. Relax, I'm not suspecting you guys, it's just for safety reasons. Kerr, there's something I need you to do. Are you asking me to study zombies? I have to confirm whether these things really have viruses in their bodies or are controlled by aliens using their abilities. If it's a virus, it will become a disaster that covers the entire city of Tianhai. It may not even spread to the whole country or even the world. But if someone is secretly manipulating it, that means there is an extremely terrifying existence in Tianhai City that we didn't know about in the past. Either outcome is very frightening. Don't think too much. We don't have the mindset to care about the outside world. What we need to do is to protect ourselves first. As long as this shelter can exist safely, we can continue to live well. Shelter medical room. It's truly a miracle. You have to be careful. We can't confirm if it's a virus yet, and we don't know its infectivity. Don't worry, don't forget what I do. I need some time to study it. It's okay, we still have plenty of time. If it's just the current level of crisis, we can easily resolve it. Yeah, after all, our armed forces are also among the top in Tianhai City. But if this zombie crisis were to erupt among other forces, especially organizations like the Snow Cult, it would definitely be very terrifying, right? Yangqing Base. There are simply too many zombies. Chief. What exactly are these things? They are definitely not zombies in the ordinary sense. Go investigate how they appeared and see if anyone is manipulating them behind the scenes. Chaoyu Base. Where did these things come from? Could they be cultivated by some other force in Tianhai City, or perhaps there are underground forces that we haven't discovered in the past? Vice you at church headquarters. Where did you come from? Do you need our help? Ah, strange, strange, strange. Help me. Help me. Don't back down, your majesty will bless us. Ah, ah, ah. The incoming enemy is actually a zombie. Tong Jian, Gung Lei, the few of you must guard inside the church and not come out under any circumstances to protect the leader and the believers inside the church. Others follow me to kill these zombies. Well, none of them will die. Then we'll completely depose you all. How disgusting. What the hell is this? Half an hour later. What exactly are those things? Move all the bodies to that abandoned building. Also, check if there are any injured people. These zombies are too strange and may be caused by some kind of biochemical virus. They need to be isolated and observed for a while without contact with others. These things are so outrageous that they can't kill anyone, and they even know how to retreat. This is definitely not the brainless zombies on TV. If it's really the work of other miscellaneous forces, I won't let them go. Please calm down first. The most important thing now is to protect the remaining people. Is another new storm about to emerge? What? You were also attacked by zombies over there. Yesterday, we also encountered a situation here where over 100 people died. Where did these damn things come from? Can't it be a biochemical crisis? No one can say for sure about this matter. Those zombies are very strange. They can't even be killed by cutting their heads, and it seems that someone is manipulating them from behind. But when I heard you say that, I feel that the problem is a bit troublesome. Our two families are separated by more than 100 kilometers, but they were both attacked by zombies. If anyone could secretly command a group of corpses, it would definitely not be just one person. Are you saying that there is still a terrifying force in Tianhai City that can control the corpse horde? But if that's the case, wouldn't that power be invincible? There must be over 10 million dead people in Tianhai City. Just relying on corpses to fight us would also kill us. Take your shelter as an example. No matter how sturdy it is, it cannot withstand being smashed every day. Let's take one step at a time and contact a few other companies to see if they have encountered the same situation. The next day. Let's go. As expected, among these zombies, there was a manipulator covering his line of sight, and after that, these zombies lost their direction of action. It seems that, as I guessed, zombies have a virus that prefers cold and fears heat inside their bodies. After being burned by high temperatures, it loses its activity and therefore loses its mobility. I always feel that something is not quite right. Is there a problem with the boss? We solved half of yesterday's corpse swarm, but today's incoming wave of zombies only had a significantly higher number than yesterday. This indicates that the transmission speed of the zombie virus is very fast, and it is possible that those who died have become zombies. Let's go back and explain the situation of the zombies to everyone first. If that's the case, one day the entire Tianhai City will be completely occupied by zombies. I can't imagine how we will live at that time. But at present, this tendency is not obvious. Otherwise, the other party would not only mobilize thousands of zombies to attack us every time. However, if we can't figure out the truth behind the appearance of these zombies, they will definitely become a big trouble. If it were summer now, it would be great. All those zombies would rot and turn into skeletons. The scariest thing is not their quantity, but that they appear to have controllers, so they are not mindless monsters. In addition, they are difficult to kill and can only be burned or dismembered, which adds to the trouble of solving them. So the most crucial thing is to solve the manipulators behind them. Simply put, where can we find them? Every time we're halfway through, they run away. I can't even determine if there are manipulators in the corpse group. After all, superpowers are such things. Filled with uncertainty, no one can infer with common sense. Actually, I have a guess. Oh. I have been studying the bodies of zombies these past few days and have indeed discovered a very strange virus-like substance. It can withstand extreme cold and even survive at -100 degrees Celsius and can invade the nervous system of organisms to control their bodies. However, it does not conform to the definition of viruses in modern biology. Its structure should be between viruses and cells, but it can invade the host's body like a virus to control and reproduce. Can you simplify it a bit? After the apocalypse, biology has been redefined due to the influence of gamma rays. For now, let's just call it the zombie virus. Simply put, it reflects the habits of some bacterial colonies and even social animals. When zombies are in a group of corpses, their actions are consistent and even show a certain level of intelligence. However, the corpses studied in the laboratory have weakened their reproductive instincts and decreased their stress response. So I suspect that the control method of this virus may be similar to how biological populations with virus mother bodies can remotely control them in some way. Remote control. Of course, it's not that it's a very distant distance. For example, animals can convey messages through smell, and this mutated virus definitely has its own way of conveying messages. Are you saying that as long as you kill the mother, these infected zombies will also die? It's hard to say. At least it won't turn into what it is now, capable of large-scale action and possessing a certain level of wisdom. I seem to have some understanding now. Have you noticed that the attacks of the zombie horde these past few days seem fierce and seem to have a certain level of intelligence? But in reality, the way the zombies play is quite childish and always chooses to retreat after a portion of the zombies have died. This feeling is like a 2 or 3 year old child slowly learning to speak, only able to speak word by word slowly. Wait a minute, Zhang Yi. I seem to understand what you're saying now. Those may have mutated after human death, or mutated viruses may have taken over the human body and become the mother, just gaining intelligence and learning the way humans fight. If there really is such a thing, it should be an existence that can be called the Corpse King. After all, we have confirmed 2 conditions for obtaining superpowers. One is near death, and the other is stimulation from external objects such as ice soul. It is not impossible to acquire superpowers after death. If it is really a corpse mutation that has gained wisdom, then the attack will continue and we have a chance to collect more intelligence. We must pay attention to every detail of their actions to find ways to deal with them. However, first of all, we must quickly clean up the body tide in the surrounding area. Their presence is a huge safety hazard. But there's another question. If it was the mutation of a corpse that gave rise to wisdom, how did it simultaneously trigger riots in various areas of Tianhai City? I don't know. Metro. We know that the nearest zombie activity area to us is the Tsichu subway station. The subway in Tianhai City is well connected and can reach any area. Zombies also move to various areas through the subway. This can also explain why the smallest group of corpses we are facing, Young Manor, is located relatively far away and is only connected by the secondary canal subway line. Shinshin, continue to observe the situation of other forces. I need to understand the zombie situation there. We have to find a way to solve these things once and for all sooner or later. Of course. As for the survival of others, it's not something we can worry about. If they can't bear to see the hero cut off his wrist, then let's keep fighting with zombies. Especially with the increasing number of followers in the Baishue sect, I feel that there is a threat to them. Reducing some of their staff during this crisis is not a bad thing for us. At night. Did you launch the attack at night? Did we notice that daytime combat is easier for us to perform, or was it a coincidence? It seems like they have really become smarter. It's a bad thing, but it's also a good thing. At least our guess is correct. Even zombies have learned to collect intelligence these days. So next, I need to verify something. Kill all the zombies this time, don't leave any behind. Let's go besiege the rear path of the corpse group. Understand? Okay, let's have a good time today. What's the pleasure of killing a bunch of corpses? Xiao Su has so many live targets, why don't you use them to practice your hand? We have to go back now. Why are you in a hurry to leave? What is the boss's plan? After this round of testing, I can basically conclude that the Corpse King is not in the midst of the corpse tide, but he can still control the movements of the corpse tide. The main purpose of these zombies coming is not to eliminate us, but to collect our intelligence and pass it back to the Corpse King. If this continues for a long time and we fully master our combat skills, the real big army may come soon. So we must take the initiative to do things and not follow their rhythm. Let this guy help us investigate what's really deep inside the subway. Are you saying to investigate the situation deep inside the subway and then find an opportunity to destroy the zombie's lair? If there is a suitable opportunity, we must do this. The best defense is to attack. We need to take preemptive action. Next, it depends on how much good news this little brother can bring us. How many zombies are there underground? Just imagine how many people died in Tianhai City. Will all the dead in Tianhai City become zombies? And what about us? At present, it is not possible to make such a judgment that a corpse turning into a zombie also requires virus parasitism. But if it's long enough, I believe this day won't be too far away. Indeed, there are too many dead people in Tianhai City. Even if we go to collect various bodies in advance, it is impossible to collect all the more than 10 million bodies. Let's solve it from the source now. Killing the Mother Corpse King will reduce a lot of trouble for us. What is that thing? Discovered. However, this also indicates that our judgment was correct. The Corpse King is there, and I have already found it. But how can we take down the Corpse King? There are too many zombies underground, and we are fully armed to go in and clean them up. I don't know when we will clean them up. And the subway is spread throughout Tianhai City. The Corpse King has wisdom and will escape when he finds something wrong. If you want to do it, you have to do it once and for all. As long as we want to kill them, no matter how many, it won't be a problem, but we must prevent them from escaping, so we have to start with the subway. You can start from the location of Songzhuang and blow up the tunnel there, which will block the rear path of the corpse group. Our goal is just to kill the Corpse King, as long as it can't escape. As for the other zombies, we have many ways to eliminate them. Zhang Yi, can you come up with an idea on what to do? After all, this battle is unavoidable. Get ready, we'll take action tomorrow. Is the boss in such a hurry? It doesn't seem like your style. What if something happens underground? I mean, we don't really understand the situation underground. Maybe we underestimated the combat effectiveness of the corpse swarm. Don't worry, I won't joke about everyone's safety. Why is the boss so mysterious? Can't he just tell us directly? You just need to know that even in the most dangerous situation, I can help you escape. I understand now. Since that's the case, we don't have any worries, right? Then I'll go and prepare some food for you guys. Okay, the more the better. Yanqing Base. We can't just sit back and wait for death. If we keep going like this, we'll have to give up the refinery and go underground to avoid the tide of corpses in less than a month. Leader, all the zombies have been cleaned up. As long as this thing is burned, it will die completely. However, we have also lost 67 soldiers and slaves. We need to change our playing style. We can't just passively defend all the time. Are you saying we should take the initiative to go to the zombies' lair? The actions of the zombies are clearly being controlled by someone. We must obtain sufficient intelligence to know how to completely resolve this crisis. But this is too dangerous. We don't even know the size of the corpse swarm. It's better to wait and see for a while. If we rashly investigate, and it's possible that the entire army will be wiped out. Perhaps other forces have a way to solve this problem. Look at the scale of this zombie craze. I don't think they will be too easy, especially those idiots from the snow cult who have gathered tens of thousands of people. It's like collecting lunch for zombies. We can't rely on any of them. If we want to die, we have to rely on ourselves. Let's make this decision. Let Donghu take 2 mutants and 30 elite warriors to investigate the zombies' lair carefully. Baishu at church headquarters. The number of deaths among the congregation has reached over 1,000, and those who have been infected may also have the possibility of mutation. The newly arrived people's faith has been severely shaken, and if things continue like this, something will happen. It's okay, they just have some complaints and dare not take any substantive actions. These days, you have arranged for some of our people to spread information among the congregation, telling them that almost all survivors from the outside world have been killed by zombies. Without the protection of the snow cult, they had no spare strength to fight back when faced with a zombie attack. Just say that other forces are retreating in the face of a wave of corpses, with even more casualties. Half of the people have already died, almost to the brink of collapse. Good idea. Without comparison, there is no harm. As long as they think there are corpses everywhere outside, they will feel that their current life is pretty good and will not complain about our snow cult. The reason why they still complain is because they are not devout enough in the worship of snow, and their education needs to be accelerated to make them devout believers. So they will understand that they should be grateful to join the snow worship church at this time. It still has to be you, High Priest. I understand now, and I will arrange for someone to handle it immediately. Killing the Corpse King is our top priority this time. As long as we can find it, I have a 100% chance of killing him. But all of this must be based on our personal safety. Don't go too far and fight against the corpses. No matter how many of those things are killed, it's meaningless. Uncle Yu, go down first. Okay. There are no enemies around here to come down. Let's go. It seems that the instinct of zombies is only to eat and cannot infect corpses that have turned into white bones. It can be seen that they have a big appetite. After all, based on their movement pattern, they must need to eat a lot of things. Hey, you guys say that there are more dead people than living people in Tianhai City. If there are over 10 million zombies, wouldn't there be nothing to eat? Yeah, what would those zombies do if they didn't get enough food? Will these zombies spread from Tianhai City to other cities? What's it to us? Anyway, for now we just need to make sure there are no zombies around the shelter. That's right. Look out. This is really a mouse. It's bigger than a cat. Mutant mice are not strange. The bodies we saw before were all gnawed by mice. There must be a rat colony here with so many corpses. Now we have really entered the mouse den. So disgusting. Let's clean them up first. Put away the flamethrower, okay? I don't know when we can solve them if we keep going like this, let alone search for the Corpse King. Double doors. Your dimensional gate has been upgraded. I have been studying the usage of dimensional gates all along. After the last major battle, I am now able to use 2 dimensional gates at the same time. It's quite convenient. I don't know if those zombies will be alert when these mice make such a fuss. What is the relationship between these mice and zombies located underground? Who knows? Keep moving forward. Eureka! They are sleeping. That's reasonable. Even as hosts of viruses, their actions require energy consumption, so they lurk in the dark to rest without receiving orders. How about burning them all clean? Coeur said that these zombies retain some biological characteristics. Strictly speaking, they are more like a swarm of insects. If that's the case, they also need to rest. It would be great if they could sleep like this all the time. It's not that easy, it's a bit troublesome now. The Corpse King has already discovered us. There's no need to keep them and burn them to death. The Corpse King is chasing after him not far from here. Those giant rats are still staring at us from behind. Don't worry about them for now. We need to find the location of the Corpse King as soon as possible and kill it in order to permanently eliminate future troubles. But the tunnel is not closed. By the time we get trapped here, the Corpse King might have already escaped. The number of zombies has decreased, so we can speed up our pace. Keep moving forward. Our goal is to find the corpse group and obtain their intelligence. Before that, we have to overcome any difficulties we encounter. Quickly retreat. This quantity is simply unbeatable. Hurry up and run, don't look back. Quickly withdraw our firearms to delay them for a while and escape from the nearest subway station. Hurry up, hurry up. What is this thing? This is terrible. This is a bit troublesome now. With a transfer station, we won't be able to figure out the specific location of the Corpse King. So, how can we determine where to proceed? But I have a feeling. That thing is not far from us anymore. Be careful, the big one is coming. Is this the Corpse King? There are also ones here. This thing is mass-produced and absolutely cannot have been born naturally. What about Zhang Yi? What else can we do now? We can only fight. Liang Yuehua, you two should stay by my side and not be too far away. We have too few people now and need to band together. Ah. Damn it, there must be a Corpse King commanding behind this. Unfortunately, we can't kill these zombies now, so how can we kill the Corpse King? Don't worry, the more times like this, the more you need to remain calm and observe carefully. We can definitely find the Corpse King. It's nearby and I can feel it. This thing is really difficult to deal with. Hua, go help Uncle Yu. Liang Yu, flash away. Shinwei. Ha, just you guys. I won't burn you to death. Your current strength is simply terrifying. Looking at the entire Tianhai city, I'm afraid no one else can catch the blow just now without being prepared. What's there to me? It's just a basic operation. It's a bit too early to relax now. I think our real opponent should be nearby, and I'm still waiting for him to appear. How could this happen? How many monsters are there like this? What should we do now? It seems that the situation this time is even more severe than imagined, and the forces behind it are even more terrifying. Come back soon. Follow me. Wow, that really scared me to death. Is this your new ability, Zhang Yi? It's not really a new ability, is it? It's just that I have gained some new understanding of the application of Dimension Gate. The boss has this ability. You told me earlier, do you know? I was almost scared to death just now. I just wanted to leave you a surprise. But at first, I didn't expect to have the opportunity to really use this ability. The outbreak of the zombie crisis this time is more complex than we imagined, to the point where I still don't know what it will eventually develop into. What should we do next? Anyway, we must solve this problem as soon as possible and not give these zombies any more room to grow. What can you do about it? Solving these zombies is not as difficult as imagined. Even if the virus is very cold resistant, they will not stay in such low temperatures outside. I now have a plan. The subway line in our area is not complicated, only a secondary canal line passes through, and these zombies generally sleep in tunnels. At present, there is only one thing that can control all zombies in the tunnel in the shortest possible time and then seal them up. What is that thing? That's seawater. Wow, this move is really amazing. The secondary canal line is a one-way street, and as long as your alternative space can accommodate enough seawater, it can completely submerge the tunnel. When the underground tunnel is so deep, those mice and zombies inside should be submerged in water. At least it can solve the vast majority. If the Corpse King really had life, he would probably be half dead from drowning, and even in the worst case, they wouldn't be able to continue surviving in the tunnel. You still have to be the boss. Your ability is really bug-prone, and at this time, it happens to be the best weapon against zombies. I think the most powerful thing is Zhang Yi's mind. Although we all have superpowers, Zhang Yi is the one who maximizes their potential. This plan was just a snap of my head, but the specific execution still requires a lot of preparation. And there is a crucial issue that I need to consult with the professional technicians at home again. Let's go back first. The earlier this plan is implemented, the better. We must speed up and not give those zombies the chance to continue growing. I didn't expect there to be such monsters underground. If they all rushed out, even our current base, fully armed, wouldn't be able to stop them. Should we consider transferring to underground? This is absolutely impossible. If we lose the refinery, we will lose the foundation on which we rely for survival. No matter how much it costs, the refinery must be preserved. But if they really all come and kill us, can we still stop them? Then pour out the stored oil and dump it around the refinery. As soon as those zombies come over, we'll ignite the oil and burn them all to ashes. If that's the case, why don't we let the soldiers' families go underground first? This way, even if we have any problems, there will still be someone who can help. Just do as you say. Shelter living room. What happened? Did you encounter any trouble? I did encounter a little bit of trouble, but it won't become too big a problem. How's your brother doing this time? Come here, come here. I have a very important question that I would like to ask you. Brother, just feel free to ask if you have any questions. I need a way to quickly freeze seawater, and it's a very large amount of seawater. Do you have any good methods? There are methods available. All you need to do is prepare some chemical materials. But big brother, how much seawater do you need to freeze? I need to freeze the entire subway line for over 20 kilometers. This kind of thing is not difficult, but it requires time to prepare. That's great. In terms of time, we're not really in such a hurry. In that case, it's easy to handle. Just some simple chemical materials are needed. I will prepare a large amount of coagulant. The materials we found from the chemical factory before can come in handy this time. Okay, we'll go together this afternoon to fetch seawater. East China Sea Edge. How beautiful! Is this the masterpiece of nature? Compared to here, the ice surface of Mohin winter is nothing compared to the big picture. We don't have time to lament right now. We need to drive over and see where we can get water. 2 hours later. Boss, I see water. Hurry up and collect the water, we'll leave. Dual door. If I had known I brought a fishing rod here, fishing in this place is such a beautiful thing. I have an idea when you say that. How about building a fish pond at home and then releasing some sea fish into it? Boss, why don't we consider building a sea view room here in the future? Maybe when the Chaoyu base is destroyed by the horde of corpses, we will occupy their base, take their ship, and still be able to set sail. Let's first consider how to solve the current problem, but the ocean-going ships at Chaoyu base are something I really crave. Let's go. The initial preparations are almost done. Hey, I'm leaving now. I have collected all the seawater. The next step is to let it settle. Are your materials ready? That's not a very special material, so it's easy to prepare. These are precipitants. You can put them into seawater to quickly precipitate salt. Only when the salt content is relatively low can seawater freeze quickly at low temperatures. As for these, it will take at least 2 more days to be fully prepared, right? Okay, we can still afford to wait for 2 days. Alert, shelter under attack. Shelter under attack. The shelter is currently damaged to a degree of 0.00001, and the attack is ongoing. Please resolve the damage issue in a timely manner. Did those zombies come again? The giant mouse in the subway station. Too many of their kind were killed, so the giant rats joined the zombie attack this time. Difficult beast. Although their attacks will not break through the shelter in a short period of time, over the years, they will surely gnaw a big hole in the shelter. Even if it can't be gnawed through, it will leave the exterior walls riddled with holes. Intensifying the offensive is nothing more than the Corpse King constantly probing and gathering intelligence. Continuing will only make us more and more passive. As for taking the initiative, we'll have to wait for another 2 days. If these giant rats continue to attack the shelter, it may take at most 2 years for them to break through the outer walls of the shelter. Let's go back and prepare. This should come to a halt. Chaoyu base. The movements of zombie hordes in these days are becoming more and more regular, even showing discipline like in the military. Although giving up the port will result in the loss of a large amount of goods in the containers, we can only have long-term development by keeping the giant ship. Other forces may not have the advantage we have, and the losses may be quite heavy. Baishu at church headquarters. Special circumstances, no matter if you bring the virus or not. This size is enough to kill one for several days. 2 days later. Although there is still a certain gap from fresh water at present, it is already easy to freeze it. We can start immediately and implement the previous plan. Terminal Station, Songzhuang. The explosives have been arranged. To completely freeze these zombies and rodents to death in the subway, the first step is to block all their escape routes. The first step is to completely destroy Songzhuang Station. Boss, what if the Corpse King discovers danger in advance and runs away? If it runs away, it's better not to kill the Corpse King from the beginning. As long as this thing is not near the shelter, it doesn't matter to me whether it's alive or dead. But if all other human powers are destroyed, can we be alone? If we follow your statement, perhaps one day the entire blue star will be destroyed by the virus. In that case, what can we do? To achieve both prosperity and benefit the world, and to be self-sufficient in poverty, what concerns me the most now is still the latter. Sitsu Station. Now our problem has also been solved. I should be able to relax for a while. As for the troubles of the corpses and mice, let other forces have a headache. Space system abilities are indeed quite abnormal. What should we do next? What else can we do? Of course, we'll hit the dog in pain. Whether it's zombies or mice, these things pose a great threat to us. We can't just kill more with empty hands. It's always good. Let's go. We can kill as many as we can, and then we'll clean up again and finish the work. Suburban snowfield. The tunnel is completely destroyed. The mass of corpses is completely destroyed, and there is no hope of attacking the shelter. My lord's new command. Yanqing base. Hurry up and act quickly.